What's going on, guys? We're live. Welcome back to another SNI Saturday Night Incel episode 48 weekend chat, random chat, whatever you guys want to call it. We are back again, guys. Welcome back. So much stuff has happened over this past week. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta do my shout outs real quick. So, shout out to the Colt gang for being in here, being involved, being active. Shout out to the Mystery gang for being in here, solving the mysteries. What's going on, guys? So much stuff has happened this week when it comes to the manosphere, definitely the black side of the manosphere. Obviously, the big story has been the takeover of the of Kabul by the Taliban of Afghanistan. That's been the big news story across politics this week. Um, Obviously, the women's rights violations over there are going to be a big topic for the next few years. Obviously, so that's a big topic right now. Fresh and Fit have been like dethroned by Abba and Preach. That's a big story happening right now. What else happened? Oh yeah, OnlyFans, Only Thoughts. That's another huge story. Only Thoughts had a huge story this week. Everybody knows this story. Everybody's already seen videos and things about it. So that's another big story this week. And I guess the next big story, kind of not really a big story, I guess, but there's been some call outs by Richard Cooper, not Cooper, but Cooper. Cooper has been like he's put out at least on his entrepreneur in cars tips, not tips, but his clips channel where he his clips out excerpts of his streams. He went in on the black pill the last on like two of those clips I saw this past week. So that might be interesting to watch and see what he has to say about it. So yeah, it's just been a clusterfuck of a really the last 2 weeks, but yeah, it has been a fucking insane thing. Um, yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Where should we start, guys? What's going on, guys? We got four people in the chat. Sounds like a fucking good chat to me. Whatever. Started 5 minutes early. We're good to go though. We're good, right? Let's see. Time for some black pills. Yeah, let's do it, dude. Rest in peace, OnlyFans. Oh boy. Back to the streets, girl. Streets girls. Yeah. Now E thoughts will he'll get a job. That's the problem though. Basically, OnlyFans just showed that people are willing to pay for porn effectively. So there, I'm sure, and I'm going to say this with a lot of confidence that I'm pretty sure there's other platforms that these women could go on. But the thing with OnlyFans is that it was because of the name, it was ambiguous enough to where like it doesn't. I think I'm gonna be kind of like quoting Thinking Ape a little bit here, but the name OnlyFans is fairly ambiguous, so it doesn't really have like the same connotation as like going on some like other like website where it's like quite literally explicitly meant for like nudes and selling your body and stuff like that. So it is very very yeah, it's just funny. It's just funny how OnlyFans only work because, or the biggest reason why it works so well is because of the name itself. Is that the website wasn't really made for porn. It's just that people happen to put porn on there. And according to a Thinking Ape, Stardust on his channel, he said actually on his video he talked about how like even places like Patreon actually had an issue with pornographic material on their website until they cracked down and said no. Apparently, the reason they did it was because I guess their payment processor said we don't want to be associated with this type of content. And it's like, oh well, so basically, somebody from higher up said, "Fuck you, we're not going to let you guys, use our platform to, for this type of material." So, and honestly, like they really were in some pretty dangerous territory to begin with because like, who knows how many young girls watching the content pop up, and who knows how many young girls are gonna who people who are younger than 18 were on that website lying and saying they were really 18, lying and saying they were 18. Who knows how much of that content was out there? Like, I mean, like there's no real way to like. Oh, I'm not sure how the platform works really, but like from what I know, there's no real way to like verify how to if somebody's like the right age or not, other than doing like a check on like an ID check or something like that. But yeah, so there was that issue as well. So yeah, this is funny. Women will just go to a different platform. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But seriously, are OnlyFans owners retards? Not yes and no. in theory, they probably could have gone with other processors, but like losing people like Mastercard or Visa or these other big payment processors is like really it's a huge knock to your business model for sure. Imagine if your company didn't take Visa. Like Visa is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, payment processor on the face of the planet right now. And if your company can't take Visa, well, you literally can't take the majority of fucking cards. So like, it's not a matter of them being retards. It's a matter of okay, well, we have to weigh our options here. Do we totally go out of a business altogether because we can't take any payment processing, or do we just say fuck it, knock off this content, try to reestablish ourselves, or reorient our company to a different form of content, and do we go off of that instead? So they probably said that this is probably an easier option to go off of. Yeah, for sure. It's just a matter of can they compete with places like Patreon or something like that, where because Patreon, while it did have a connotation with being a porn website, or at least a place for like people to like show nudes on, they kind of like nipped it in the bud early enough to where it wasn't that big of an issue. Whereas OnlyFans became like prolific for being a website for just being a website for pornographic material. So it's the biggest issue they're gonna have going forward. Because I think there was actually talk about them doing this in the past, like a few months ago. The news articles came out and basically saying that there's a lot of celebrities who wanted to use the platform, but the problem is that they didn't want to be associated with the the thottery on there, basically, effectively. So like if there's a bunch of porn on your website and you want to post a regular video or post some content for your fans and have them pay for it. Okay, well, are you willing to do that when like half the platform is just a bunch of like 21-year-old girls posting their ass on the website? Probably not. So if it's like a business move where like they actually have people lined up, like big time celebrities lining up to give them money and endorse the platform and get them back on their feet, it might actually be a pretty prudent business decision. So yeah, Saturday morning, like afternoon, whatever, it works. Shout out to the Cope gang. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Yeah, what's up, dude? What's up, Hayashi? But Foids are not the real problem in R. The Taliban knows it. The Talibans know it. Yeah, to some extent. I mean, the problem is like you make this argument and people get fucking butthurt as fuck, saying like, well, no, it's not women. Like at the end of the day, women just like women and men. I've actually had some argument with women themselves, and like they don't take responsibility for shit anyway. So like at the end of the day, what ends up happening is that like I'll explain to them and say, okay, look, at the end of the day, men respond to women and women respond to men. So like if women are going to reward bad behavior, well, it's only to be expected that bad behavior is going to become the norm. But the problem with that, but then a woman will immediately say, well, men, it's not women's fault then. It's like, well, what are you talking about? Like women are endorsing the behavior, but then like they just won't accept the fact that like women choosing these men or choosing the quote unquote bad boy or the fuck boy, what we want to call them, women choosing these men is also a problem, but they don't ever actually accept that argument because they think that because they somehow have this belief that like, oh, women are just they have no problem at all and women can do whatever they want and men should just control themselves. And it's like, okay, this is not how life works. It doesn't work that way at all. So I don't hate OnlyFans chicks, so I don't hate OnlyFans chicks, so I'm not happy they're going away. Don't succumb to jealousy. Gym cell right now, all right. It's Tumblr all over again. They used to have a lot of nudity too until they banned it completely, just like OnlyFans will fall into obscurity. Yeah, it probably will, actually. I believe it. OnlyFans was owned and created by international banker Sun, so there's nothing about the growth of the company that was organic. And media coverage was crazy. Yeah. My suspicion is that OnlyFans had pushed up the price of a prime woman to infinite. Probably. That's weird. But yeah, it's not weird, I guess. But I'm sorry, I was reading another comment at the bottom here. But ultimately, what's happening though is that they did like they pushed the price of women all the way up to the maximum value it possibly could be. So like if women, like I've actually asked a woman this question before, and they give me no answer at all. Definitely asked women I've been on dates with, it's like, oh, like what do you really want men for, or what do you want a man for? And the answers they give are so stupid, it's not even funny. Like because like they've convinced themselves, like, I basically asked them straight up, okay, well, you have a college degree, you have a job, you have your stuff, you have your house, you have your car, you have this, you have that. So like, what do you really want a man for? And the answers are never like anything substantial. It's always like some like a nebulous bullshit. And it's like, it's just funny how like they don't even know what they want. And because I've used the argument of like, hey, like, I think what's that guy's name? Think Before You Sleep. He's made a video about this topic as well, where it's like, do you need two people for performing the exact same role? And like, if you have a job and you're a breadwinner, and I'm also a breadwinner, why do we need two breadwinners? Like, yeah, sure, it brings out more prosperity, but do you really need two people doing the exact same thing? No, you don't. At the end of the day, you don't need two people doing the exact same role in anything. So, Earth equals streets. Look up the quote from Arthur Schopenhauer about women. Try index because Google censors it. I think I've played that one before. Black pill R9K. Oh, that's good. God, I got the R9K in here. All right. OnlyFans has completed its mission for further degrading society. Absolutely. Base Schopenhauer, yeah. COVID plus OnlyFans equals Simp Haven. Heaven. I'm sorry, Heaven. OnlyFans, the new PH, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, it definitely became the new P Hub. Yeah. Simps are the root of the issue. There is an argument. Yeah. My only point is that people respond to incentives at the end of the day. And, it's not a matter of them, like, it's easy to say, oh, it's men's fault, but it's like, okay, well, why are men behaving the way they're behaving? And like, the problem is that we keep stopping full stop at, like, we stop at one issue. And to some extent, I agree with you that it doesn't really matter why they became what they became. All that matters is that they're doing it. But like, if you want to prevent it from happening in the future, we have to understand where the behavior arises from, and then respond to that, and then figure out if we can save the ones coming up in the future. So like, if we see the behavior where it comes from, we can easily, okay, we can look at the next generation and say, okay, well, we have to stop this, and this to stop this behavior from arising in the next generation of people. So that's all I'm trying to say here, because ultimately it's almost like saying, like, oh my god, like there's hair in my cake. That's bullshit. Like, the cake sucks now. Okay, well, that's nice and all that, but I can't go back and make you a new cake. Oh no, actually, that's actually the only solution I have for you is to make you a new cake. I can't take the cake I've already baked and take the hair out. It's too much work. So really, the reality of the situation is that I have to literally bake a new cake, which means making a new set of human beings who are, not going to be susceptible to being a simp, effectively. So yeah. Dashboard is streaming. I will see your stream later. Okay, well, I will only be on until about 4:30ish. So yeah. There is always a crack. All right. You called them simps, but you would stop me if I forced myself on a woman. What? Misogynist how? Okay. Well, I'm a stark anti-Semite and don't give a fuck. All right, here you go. To mitigate the issue, entirely build sex robots. Okay. Artificial wounds. Yeah. Dashboard is less than 20 miles from me, it seems. A day or so ago, he was 8. These days, you might need to be 2 bedrooms because an average man's salary isn't enough for a comfortable life with kids, especially in Cali. What do you think? But the reality is that what created that situation, though? It's not hard. This is not hard logic here. Like, if you double the supply of anything, you're going to lower the price. You're going to cut the damn price in half, effectively. So, like, because we doubled the labor supply, because we have unabated immigration into our country, well, of course, you're going to have more competition for wages, more competition for job titles, more competition for jobs in general. You're going to start cutting wages further downward. I actually played a clip from this guy named What If Altist, who actually covers this topic, and not in depth, but he does cover it. Basically saying that, like, yeah, as you have more immigration, but as you double the labor supply, this is the facts. When women by and large weren't allowed to work, well, of course, if you only have half the supply of labor, well, of course, you're going to have enough money to support a household and stuff like that. If anything, it's actually in the corporation's interest to have women have their own money, because women already made up the majority of spending to begin with. So if you actually give them the what's it called, give them their own money, well, they'll spend even more money at that point. So it doesn't matter. Like, the reality of, like, the funny part about, once again, I've asked a women these questions before, and the answers they give me are so fucking stupid. But like, if I actually ask these women, like, do you actually have the option to not work anymore? Like, do you have the option to be a stay-at-home mother if you wanted to? Well, the reality of that question is that for the average woman, the answer is no. The average woman is forced to work now. You don't actually have any you don't actually have choices anymore. Your choice now is to work. You don't have you don't have the option not to work. So ironically, like okay, like oh, I'm mad. I'm being forced in the household. Oh, now you're gonna be mad that you're gonna be forced being work now. Like it doesn't matter. Like either way, like if you change the whole damn system to something else, you're gonna be fucked over at the end of the day. Elon Musk doesn't build Tesla, but okay. I know RNK has gone the way of the dirty truths and bots feel bad, bro. Oh yeah, the fucking the amount of like R9 fucking gay threads and trans threads and other weird threads on fucking R9K is fucking horrible. Like that place is an absolute fucking shithole. Place is an absolute shithole now. I'm like it's like I go there for like basically for memes and content, and every once in a while you'll find like a pretty nice thread, but for the most part that place is a shithole now. Too many fucking gay fucking enablers, too many fucking trans. Which I'm surprised that our not gay threads are even allowed because they already have their own board in anyway. But it's just crazy to me. I don't understand. Oh boy. So we will work with or value the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down the field with worms. Yep. Yeah. Shame is the answer. Shame has been removed from society. I said this before, but the shame is still there. The problem is that the shame is now being used against you. The shame, so basically, you're shamed for not being in favor of like unabated LGBTQIA rights. You're shamed for being conservative if you have any sort of conservative beliefs. Yeah, the shame has just been flipped. So back in the day, you were shamed for being a woman who didn't have kids. You were shamed for being a housewife, for not being a housewife. If you were a man, you were shamed for being a fucking coomer at this point. I'm going to call it, being a porn addict, effectively. So like now, though, that should flip now, or rather, the shame is only on one sided now, where like a men get shamed and a women get nothing but encouragement and love and respect. So yeah, the shame has never left. It just flipped on you now. Damn, two parents at work, nobody taking care of the child. Yeah, I mean, come on now. Like this is why I was talking about the whole thing with the idea of roles, of social roles. And this idea is like, oh well, it's just funny how like we have this weird idea of like, okay, so like we need two breadwinners. So like back in the day, you have a separation of duty. So you had a man who worked, brought home the resources for the family, and you had the woman who took care of the family and the household. And she basically was like the a vanguard for the family out in society. So she would coordinate with other families. You'd have little nights out. You'd coordinate with other people, and you basically had a functional society. In an era where you have two breadwinners, two people doing what you consider to be a masculine role, all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, why do we have two people doing the exact same role? We don't need that. And then now you have to pay for, as Ice Cactus has said out here, you have to pay for fucking daycare now, which is like, truth be told, we're not actually better off now. Now you have to pay for daycare, you have to pay for this, you have to pay for that now. So there's so like any money that women would have had is now being spent up by paying for bullshit like daycare now, or paying for other bullshit now. It's crazy. And then people wonder why their kids are all fucked up because parents don't really parent anymore. They just let the either the fucking TV back in my day, the TV either raises your kid, or the internet raises your kid, or the tablet raises your kid, or the iPhone raises your kid, or the iPad raises your kid. So like your kid's being watched by nobody, or being watched by the fucking state, who's filling your kid's head up full of bullshit, and then you wonder why your kid's fucking I don't know, some fucking weird ass fucking other kid transvestite thing, from the fucking fifth dimension, and you're sitting there wondering, where did I go wrong? Well, the reality of the situation is that you didn't actually raise your kid and instill value into values into your kid to begin with. A lot of times parents nowadays think that like, oh well, I gave my kid food, water, and shelter, and he's good to go. It's like bullshit, dude. Like you're not even a fucking parent at that point. You're just a fucking like a slave. I don't even know what to say. Like it's sad. You're basically like a vending machine at that point. They don't care about your shame because you're broke. They don't want. Yeah, effectively, that's also truth too as well. Shame only really has any real bite if people care about what you or care about the person saying it too as well. So yeah, it's sad. Yep, fucked up. I'm not talking about the women. They're probably broke Chad and they care what they think. Yeah. Well, okay. Society must shame void and society moral. They're dictated by men. Yeah. You got to consider ourselves lucky. Imagine being born in 2030 or 2040. Peak degeneracy is 10 times worse. Maybe. I went to the doctor and they said, no, okay, whatever, just fuck this shit. True, it's been inverted. Makes sense in this satanic system. Black pill, R9K. R9K has been shit since 2012, 2014. Not worth visiting anymore. It's really bad. Yeah, it's gotten really bad there. Fucking horrible. Shame is the best regulation. It's one of the best for sure. Mystery, have you heard of the British ISIL guy who went on a shooting? Yeah, I covered that last weekend. Yeah. Shame or beat the crap out of them. Yeah. Either one works. Both parents work to pay for daycare. Yep. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Very true. Hashtag I can't breathe. What's up, Graham? You're back. And we are talking about parental families, now single mothers. They are the ruin of society. Yeah, very true. Bots be raising kids in the future. Might be. No pussy, no peace. Nice. No lives matter. Cool. Coomer generation incoming. Absolutely. Damn, Grim is alive. Incel. Yeah, I got the fucking fist in the air. Graham, are you going to Afghanistan? We live in the worst possible time because it's completely incompatible with human neurology and development, plus the deep staters one. Yeah. My 6-year-old cousin looking at Black Hill memes. Whoa, what the fuck? Holy shit. I haven't been around Buddy Boys. I'm a gig slave now. Amazon Flex and DoorDash. Oh my god. Hope humans go extinct. The biggest threat to humanity is humanity itself, period. Absolutely. iPad raising kids, pay Apple $360 for daycare. Oh, God. Okay, I will stop. Okay, dude. Self-destruction, rather, is the polar opposite of self-preservation. Mystery Town had the date tonight. I might have one today. I don't know. Burning my money before I die alone, boyos. Oh, absolutely. Joe, are you a freshman at the university? Biden? Yes. Islam was right. Don't tell my mom I'm in Afghanistan. Oh, shit. And Thella. Holy mother of God. We've come a long way, buddy boyos. Oh, God, there's so many videos from the pull up some seconds for stream videos here. Oh, yeah, there's also kind of like another small story about this a leftist guy who bought like a mansion. It is rather funny, actually. It's rather rich how this guy's like, you like the premier socialist communist guy, and he literally just like does not give a fuck about anything but himself at the end of the day. So, which I guess is pretty normal. Let me do this. Let's show some memes real quick. Start off here. Oh, God. Let's do this shit. Share screen. And 2. I'll share audio, but then I'll just do the mute the audio screen. Here we have everybody knows who this guy is here. He's basically the Chad of what do you want to call it? Socialist communist online. He's Hassan Piker, basically Cenk Uyghur's nephew. And buy $3 million mansion in a rich neighborhood. Kotaku, that's just a house. Okay, yeah. People are losing their minds because a socialist streamer bought a house. I think it's very, very ironic. It's very ironic how these socialist guys, ContraPoints, what's that guy, the Philosophy Tube, Hassan, there's other people who have been caught making like millions of dollars a year now to basically preach to people, make a bunch of money, and then but they don't actually do anything to like further their cause. Like you want to know how somebody what. You want to know? Oh yeah, this happened with a Black Lives Matter as well. The same thing happened actually to people. They took the money and left. And it's very ironic to me how so these people here they advocate for all this shit, but they don't actually live it, which tells me that they don't actually believe in anything they're saying. Like no one's saying that you have to live like a fucking serf, but to buy a $3 million house, yeah, I'm sorry, dog, but you definitely don't believe anything you're saying at all at this point. Like there is something about somebody who has to practices what they preach, or at least put money into the system to advocate for what they preach for. So if, I don't know, like it just seems like you could have taken the $3 million that you spent on this house and actually took it to like advocate for socialist policies, but rather instead of what you did was that, oh fuck that shit, I'm buying a house. Like, okay, dude, yeah, I don't know. Like a leftist bullshit is bullshit to me. I don't know. I just can't stand it. Can't stand it anymore. Well, let's put the picture back up, Lynn. Socialism for thee, but not for me. This is like the mantra of like every single socialist, that they think, oh well, there's to some extent like they're a miserable people. This guy wasn't. He was already rich. He just got richer. And he doesn't actually care about the cause. Not at all. I would say that a obtuse leftist taking a ton of cash, pointing fingers, and completely oblivious of their own destruction and hubris as standard operating procedure. I agree a little bit. Yeah, I agree. So I think a large extent there. Fuck it, dude. I don't take socialists seriously. Yeah. It's gonna be fun to see Foyt fighting against the Telemans to gain the rights back. Oh, it's not gonna happen. What do you know? Funny shit. Fuck. Let's see. Started off there. Let us see here. What meme is this? Here we go. Oh wait, I already did this one, and I did that one last week. Let's skip it. So here we are. This one's really sad, actually. I'll zoom in here so people can read the. I'll show the whole picture. Let me show the whole picture first. Here's the picture. Man coming home from war. Comes his wife and kids. All his kids are like, "Yeah, daddy's home," and let's come down here. Hopefully, you guys can read that. Let me get rid of this too as well. Shit. Fuck out of here. All right. The photograph depicts U.S. State Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Robert L. Sturm being reunited with his family after spending more than 5 years in captivity as a prisoner of war in North Vietnam. Sturm was shot down over Hanoi on October 27, 1967, while leading a flight of F-105s on a bombing mission, and was not released until March 14, 1973. Dang. Centerpiece of the photograph is Sturm's 15-year-old daughter, Lori, who is excitedly greeting her father with outstretched arms as the rest of the family approaches directly behind her. Despite outward appearance, the reunion was an unhappy one for Sturm. 3 days before he arrived in the United States, the same day he was released from captivity, Sturm received a Dear John letter from his wife, Loretta, informing him that their marriage was over. Sturm later learned that Loretta had been with other men throughout his captivity, receiving marriage proposals from three of them. In 1974, the Sturms divorced and Loretta remarried, but Lieutenant Colonel Sturm was still ordered by the courts to provide her with 43% of his military retirement pay when he retired from the Air Force. Sturm was later promoted to full colonel and retired from the Air Force in 1977. Holy shit. After Birth of Joy was announced as the winner of the Pulitzer Prize, all the family members depicted in the picture received copies. They were all displayed it prominently in their homes, except for the Sturm patriarch, who says he cannot bring himself to display the picture given the betrayal he suffered from his wife on the home front. Well, yeah, what do you... Oh, boy. Can't read it? That sucks. Well, I did the best I could. Oh, fuck. If I go any closer, you're not gonna be able to read anything at all. So yeah, but either way. Yeah, I mean, fight for your country, get cucked. What do you know? Here's a good meme. This one I can zoom in on. It's pretty nice. Here we are. Keith Woods, please spare a thought for all the young Afghan girls who will now be denied the chance to create an OnlyFans. Well, they wouldn't have had that one anyway, but either way, it didn't age very well, but it was very, very good at the time, so I'll take it. But pretty funny, pretty good. Good shit. He saved some for my family and got this treatment. Fuck. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What meme is this? No, I can't even really show that meme really. It's too A, it's too small, and B, it's Oh, this one's gonna be pretty bad for curry sales. Look at the curry sales here. Here we are. Here we are. I gotta do this. Hold on, let me zoom out. 2 minutes after a white girl uploads a new picture. Ah, yes, here comes all the Indians. Oh man, here comes the Indian. Oh god, let's shit together. Hi, beautiful. Hey, pick deer. Do you sex me? Duck, duck, duck. Open vagine. Hello, bitch lasagna. Thin naked pig. Snow, you bitch. My penis stand when your vision. Want to have sexy sex. How your boobs become melons. Okay, suck boobs. Oh yes, true. Truly, the Indian simps all over the white woman. This picture here is so fucking true. I have to show it. It's not really even like an incel meme or like a black pillar meme, but it's just really true actually. Or it might be a little bit black pilled, but let's do it. The cheap cologne must be unbearable too. uh, oh no. Here we are. Here. This meme here is pretty good actually because it's very true, at least more where I live at. The up and coming American suburban town starter pack. New homes starting in the low 650s. The low 650s. No trees. It sure is a hot one today. I wonder why. No fucking trees, right? Lease too high. Never rents. This one here at the end never fucking rents. Cell phone store, not your carrier. Checks cashed. Insurance broker. Chinese restaurant. China King. China Palace. China Garden. Taste of China. Always. Hair salon. Fantastic Sam's. Great clips. Sports clips. Supercuts. Always here. Yep, it's just true. Very fucking true. Insert Darden restaurant. Olive Garden. Longhorn Steakhouse. Bahama Breeze. Red Lobster. Yep. Always at a corner. Always on the fucking corner. We're very, very just obvious here. Yes, here we have the one bedroom studio. $950 a month is very, very optimistic here for this. This is not true at all. $950 a month is like, I'd love to have that. That'd be great for fucking a rent, but that's not how life works. So $950 a month is probably too low here, but yeah. $500 security deposit, $220 parking pass. Yep, very true. The security deposit is probably like the whole rent though, really in reality, but yeah, it's very true. Here we have this one is very true. I see it all over the place. Drugstore at a four-way intersection. CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens. Very true. Yep. Always one of these suckers on a four-way intersection, dog. Always one of those suckers on a four-way intersection. Yes, minimum 15 car dealers on the same road. Yep. Always the exact same fucking. They're all consolidated into one location on the road. It's very true. Very true. Oh boy, yes, the up and coming American suburban town. You forgot Chipotle. Oh yeah, this is Orsdale Chipotle here as well, right here in the. Yeah, very true. Don't forget the boomers already have rental properties there. Yeah, very true. You forgot Chipotle. I said that one earlier. Yep. Well, them suburbs. Very true. Very true. Jamba Juice too. Yep. One. Yep. America is cringe as hell. It's true, dog. Like this shit right here is fucking reality, dog. This is America. Did you grow up in the? Absolutely, I grew up in the suburbs, dog. Hell yeah. Fuck. That's how I fucking know. I didn't grow up in the city at all. I grew up in the suburbs, and then my parents moved on to the kind of out towards the country a little bit. But we were so close to the suburbs, so like we could like make it there in like like 10 minutes, something like that. So yeah. This was not really a meme, more of just a. I like this meme though. Yes, memes, the DNA of the soul. The DNA of the soul. Oh boy, that's what we're all here for. Memes, the DNA of the soul. I grew up everywhere. And game. Oh yeah, there's always a GameStop too. Very true. How much is the rent mystery? I have a mortgage, dog, and my mortgage is like 860 something. So yeah. Here I have in the American fighters. We're gonna send to go save the Americans left in Kabul. Here we are. Ah yes, B gravy. All right, we got the Snickers bar here. We got the super big gulp. Man, he's really thirsty. French fry, two Subway subs. Yep. Obviously, we're working for the McDonald's corporate office here. Very true. Very true. Yep. All all rise for the great American soldiers. Ah boy. I was in Rockville recently, mystery, kind of close to you. Well, okay. Over for Yountville. I'm dying, dog. There should be a Costco as big as the whole town that everyone just lives in at Cost Town. Hmm. There ain't on the Japanese countryside besides abandoned shrines and old fuckers. Oh god. Here we have the memes. Ah yeah, the virgin wage slave versus the Chad agitator. The virgin wage slave, never late for work, works in constant anxiety that his supervisor might catch him doing something wrong. Too scared to join a union, would actually scab. Tries too hard to fit in. Has never dated a coworker. He always considers what's best for the company. Live with his parents too. Live with his parents too poor to move out. Not allowed to listen to music at work. Gets paid late. Doesn't complain. Friends with no one. Has never been fired. Was never given correct safety equipment. Too beta to demand any. Dreams to be promoted so he can boss others around. Ah yes. Meanwhile, on the chat agitator side, we have never showed up earlier than 1 p.m. Breaks shit just out of spite. Breaks shit just out of spite. Fuck. Constantly flirts with coworkers. Openly threatens the boss. His boss in the central committee of 4 different unions. Holy shit. 110K a year, stacking boxes plus free vision and dental. Damn. No need for iPod, always singing pro union work songs. Gets paid even if when he stays home an entire week. Holy shit. Capitalists quake with fear that he might utter the word strike. Has personally murdered a scab. Actively refuses promotion. Ah yes. The version Wasteland versus the Chat Agitator. Which one are you guys going to be, huh? Pick one, dude. This one's pretty good. This one's pretty sad, actually. Really dumb, actually, but whatever. Can I just say something that's been on my mind for a long time? Well, I don't know. Can you? Because I mean, it's your fucking Twitter. What do you mean? Can I say something on my own Twitter? What the fuck are you talking about? Men love to tell sex workers to get a real job or you make easy money. They fail to understand that a lot of us can't do that. We either have mental health barriers that stop us from being able to work to a 9 to 5. Okay, all right. Yes, mental health issues that stop you from being able to work a regular job. I'm sure that's very true. Being lazy as fuck. Let's see. Let's take a break for some memes here. Let's read the article. Let's just do it. Let's do this shit. That's not what I want. Firefox. We will use, which website should I use? We'll use CNBC. It's pretty nice. Is this good? I don't want to put your website. Fuck that. Am we good here? Are we good? I think we're good. All right, let's do it. All right, let's do this shit. In fact, I'll even just do this. We'll just put it over here and like this. That way I can just read it without any like, sort of like weird interference. Okay, here we are. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Porn made OnlyFans the powerhouse, now it's banning sexual content after pressure from banks. The cookie notice, okay, whatever, explains how NBC Universal and its affiliate, NBC, along with our partners, including advertising vendors, use cookies. Oh, I'll give a fuck about that. Get out of here. What a cookie? Let me use. Fuck out of here. Blah, 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 blah. Cookie. It's all cookies and shit? What the fuck? Where's the article at? Oh my god. No, it's all cookies. I'll be back. Give me a sec. It's like they gave me the fucking a notification, some shit. This is fucking weird. Where's the article at? Didn't give me any of the actual content. Like cookies. So weird. Here we are. Let's do this. I'm already here anyway, so fuck it. Let's do it. All right, here we are. Let's do it. All right. I already read that. Let's do it again. All right. OnlyFans is banning the one thing most users go to the website for: pornography. The UK-based content subscription service said Thursday it will no longer allow sexually explicit content as of October 1st. OnlyFans said the decision was taken to comply with requests from the banking and payment providers. In order to ensure the long-term sustainability of the platform and to continue to host an inclusive community of creators and fans, we must evolve our content guidelines, OnlyFans said in a statement. Payment processors MasterCard and Visa, especially Visa for sure, cut ties last year with the rival Pornhub after accusations that the porn website showed videos containing underage sex, rape, and revenge porn. Pornhub denied claims it allows child sexual abuse material and subsequently tightened its rules to prohibit uploads from unverified users. OnlyFans said Thursday it would allow certain posts containing nudity so long as they adhere to its acceptable use policy. It's not clear how this will work in practice. OnlyFans terms of service outline a number of things that are prohibited from the platform, including material involving people under age of 18 and other illegal or harmful content. The reality of if the game is actually over, if the game is really over here, it's a matter of what do they mean when they say this stuff here? What do they mean right here? You know, what do they mean when they say they're going to allow stuff, but will they allow stuff, or is it just going to be like what does acceptable use policy mean? If they're going to allow nudity in some instances, okay, well then you could easily just be like, okay, well I can just do what I want, because like depending on how far they allow people to go with their nudity, okay, well then the content that most of these women post up might still be allowable, and in which case they can still make money off of it. So it might not be completely over at this point, but you never know. We will be sharing more details in the coming days, and we will actively support and guide our creators through this change in content guidelines, the company said. Founded by British businessman Tim Stokely in 2016, OnlyFans has risen in popularity in recent years, thanks in large part to its hosting of clips, photos from adult performers. The platform lets sex workers charge their fans a fee to view not safe for work material. OnlyFans boomed during the coronavirus pandemic as internet users stuck at home search for the entertainment online, and people let go from their jobs, turn to the platform as an alternative way of make a living. OnlyFans claims to have over 130 million users and 2 million content creators. The company generated net revenue of $375 million last year, according to Axios report Thursday, which cited an investor deck. OnlyFans expects to hit 1.2 billion in revenue this year and 2.5 billion by 2022, Axios reported. More than 300 OnlyFans creators reportedly earn at least $1 million annually, while 16,000 creators make at least $50,000 a year. With numbers like that, you'd think venture capitalists would be lining up to write a check for OnlyFans. However, according to Axios, many investors are steering clear due to concerns over its adult content. Some venture funds are prohibited from investing in sexual content sites due to agreements with their institutional bankers. OnlyFans was not immediately available for comment when contacted by CNBC. The move will likely anger many OnlyFans content creators who rely on the service as a key source of income. Many adult entertainers use OnlyFans to complement the work they do for other porn sites. Doing away with content OnlyFans is best known for could also severely impact its revenues. However, OnlyFans insists it's more than just a platform for sex workers. Yeah, bullshit. It's always been a fucking yeah, whatever. Celebrities like Cardi B and Bella Thorne have joined the platform in the past year. For example, it's also used by chefs, fitness enthusiasts, musicians, but porn is by far the most popular category on the site. OnlyFans is the majority owned by Leonid Radvinsky, a Ukrainian-American porn entrepreneur. According to Bloomberg report, the firm is seeking a round of funding that would value it more than $1 billion. Holy shit. Well, yeah. Whew. It's happening. Inkle is trying to hold frame while Chad is holding their crush in the bend over position over. Yeah. Sleepy Joe and Come Guzzling Kamala are the nail in the coffin for America. Order out of chaos. Enjoy the collapse, my fellow subhuman brothers. Oh, yes, popcorn. OD or BP. Radiation from the bombs emasculated men in Japan. Even Godzilla is asexual. Holy shit. The hub, wild. Godzilla has no Zilla. Ooh, do why your own so early. I don't know. I gotta go somewhere later tonight, so figured I'd get it done early while I can. Godzilla is representative of the ABCDQ community. Left my ass a good point. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Fukushima. Acceptable use, whatever I say is bad. Yeah, really. So even if they ban, they're gonna be different plats that will allow this. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Boku no Fukushima. God. They're gonna just pick and choose like YouTube. Absolutely. Search for entertainment. Even if they ban this, there will be other plats. Yeah. Okay. Talking seriously, the bombs didn't emasculate Japan. No more warriors there since the destruction of the myth. Very true. Daniel has his girlfriend left him for another Tyrone, so he has more free time. Oh boy, damn Daniel. Only manga and anime crap. Let's see. All right. A few more fucking memes. Fucking do this shit. What meme is this? What the fuck is this? Oh, here we are. Fuck it, let's do it. I'll save that meme for later. For later, actually. Should I choose this meme? Fuck it. Let's do this meme. Let's fucking do it. Shit, I guess you can still see deleted comment. I can see everything, dude. I can see everything. Here we go. Hey, I remember you. I used to subscribe to you on OnlyFans. Her. Hojack. Oh, God. Hojack. Jesus Christ. Good old Hojack. Let's see. Oh yeah, that was another article I want to read too as well. I feel like I saved it somewhere. Where did I put it at? Give me a sec. Let me see. Feminism is always there when birth rates decline. Land of the cucks, home of the soy. Yep. Land of the free, home of the brave. One of the two. Now I'm loving it. We'll just do this one over here real quick. Hold on. X out of that. Here we are. I think I'll use a relatively biased source for this one here. X out of that. X out of that. I don't. Goddamn. I hate when people autoplay videos on the fucking website. It's just bullshit for doing that. It's a pretty short article. I'll read this one anyway from the news article. And of course, we have to cover the issue of Fresh and Sit. That was a very, very funny one. In fact, that might even be our topic of discussion for this week. So, because everybody knew that they were frauds, but like it's kind of funny how like it's all come up and exploded in their face now. Because like I think it's been found that Myron Gaines has like an Ashley a Madison account. How they were effectively telling those women in order to come on the show they had to have sex with them or some shit. It's like okay. So it's like all that talk about men having game and men gaming women and shit like that. Yeah, very funny. And it is funny how Ob and Preach fucking like totally destroyed their asses for sure. So that happened, and then everybody knew that the fucking a frog prince fucking but he wasn't getting shit anyway. I don't know why the fuck people act like he's like somebody that special or some shit. It's crazy. Like the amount of cap going on that fucking shit was insane. So. Here we are. Let's do it. Left-wing influencer Hassan Piker is facing a wave of backlash after news surfaced that he bought a nearly $3 million home in West Hollywood. The outlet Dirt reported last week that Piker purchased a $2.74 million, 3,800 square foot Mediterranean-style home located in Beverly Grove neighborhood. The home has 5 bedrooms and 5.5 baths. Piker hosts video streams on Twitch and has worked for the Young Turks, which was co-founded by his uncle Shane Huger. Some of the Twitters suggested that Piker's new investment was hypocritical given his left-wing political stances. It's just flat-out unethical to be profiting off socialism and buying yourself a $3 million home in the state that has the highest homelessness rates in the country, said Alexis Isabel, who describes herself as a socialist. If you're mad, I find this to be gross and unprincipled behavior. I don't really care. Piker responded with, you literally have a Patreon link on your profile, laughed my ass off. He also defended himself on Twitter and found plenty of defenses from other users. On Friday, he said, I live in LA. The housing market here is effed. Why is the argument that I keep renting or that I should just gentrify somewhere else? Will this solve the problem? No. People are mad because we left you with house. That's it. Okay, whatever you say, dude. 30-year-old commenter previously came under fire when he attacked Representative Dan Crenshaw, Republican, Texas. What the F is wrong with this dude? Didn't he go to war and literally lose an eye because some mujahideen, a brave F soldier effed his eye hole with their oh my god, I can do this. The guy had the understanding of foreign policy of like a 12-year-old, Piker said. Okay. Yep. Who doesn't love a arrogant fucking Chad socialist? Yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy. Oh boy. Game is bullshit. Those guys pay. Remember what I told you? Those famous rich dudes can't get none either. Chad Drone always wins. Yep, very true. Ostrich got Huff heat cut off. Got his. Okay, I've watched documentary from. Okay, Fresh and Simp. Fresh and Simp. It seems that Unplugged paid to get sex from women in general. I'd believe it, dude. Like game is bullshit. I've heard women literally say, "Well, those men just need to get game." And this is what men say too. Oh, men just need to get game. It's like game has never been. Game is like a fairly new thing. Game is very, very new. The majority of human history, men and women were just paired up and it worked out. It wasn't a matter of like, oh, you had to like game your woman. You had to be charming a little bit, in order to talk to her on like the front steps of their parents' house. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of like this weird like, oh yeah, go out there and date and mingle and fucking play the game and play the field. Like it was retarded shit. Like this shit's so fucking autistic, dude. Borderline fucking autistic. Oh, just get game, bruh. Just get game, bruh. Just practice game, bruh. Game is homosexual behavior. That's what the dudes do. Yeah, I believe it. Very true. Shit's insanity. I might play some clips from. So apparently Richard Cooper rather, not Cooper. Cooper's our guy. Cooper is the real guy here. He has some videos about the black pill. I kind of want to play, and hopefully I don't get like banned or some shit. I doubt he gives a fuck, so I'm gonna try to play him. I think it's here. Here we are. Yeah, that's some pretty good comments left on the thing here as well. It's a 10-minute video, and maybe I'll bring people on now. Fuck it, let's bring people on. Game is BS unless you got good looks. Well, if you have good looks, you don't really need game. That's the funny part about game. Like, you don't need game if you have good looks. You don't need it. It's just true. You don't need game if you have good looks. You might need a small, as long as you're not fucking like a borderline fucking autistic and like you slobber on yourself when you fucking talk. Other than that, you're fine, dog. Just talk at that point. You don't need game. Game is horseshit. Game is autistic. Yeah. Yeah, I'll play this clip. Fuck it. Let's take a risk on it and see if I can not get banned or some fucking weird shit's gonna happen. It's a clip. Let's do it. Well, let me know if you guys can hear this or not. All right, I'm gonna play it real quick. All right, here we are.
Thanks, Rich, for having me on your show again.
Yeah. Can you guys hear this? Probably sounds too quiet. Let me put the volume up on that. Okay, here we are.
So this one,
that sound good?
I had to come in. And
okay. That sound good or what? Someone said no sound, too quiet. I already put the sound back on. I don't have the screen audio muted. Is it still too quiet?
Here's the thing with the black pill. Okay, I don't even know.
Sounds oostic. I don't know what that means. Someone said good. Yeah, could be better. Okay, we have good. All right, I'm gonna go off that.
Oh, the black pill. I don't know what they talk about. I don't know who the influencers are. The one thing I can tell you is that it can't be anything good. And here's why. Because for a long time, I have always been red pill aware. I have always kind of noticed that, there's a schism in society where it's almost like walking in the twilight zone, where everybody else is plugged in. And for a long time, I was engaging in a lot of communities that were just so plugged in, even bringing up red pill ideas of like, hey, we're talking about equality, but then why is all like, I don't see where there's equality. I don't see where this inclusion is. I don't see if you ask these people to actually live up to the values of diversity, inclusion, and equity, they themselves fall short. Okay, so without getting like, tied up in that. And so a lot of my anger and frustration before was trying to even make people aware of what I was seeing. And I was not understood by these people. And I have lost friends, lifelong friends, actually from sharing one of your posts on Facebook, where,
Which one? What is
it was like 90% of relationships would end if the guy lost his job.
Or that one's super triggering. Yeah.
And so I got into an argument with, the guy's girlfriend, and then it just blew up and just went crazy.
But why do they get mad? Why do they get mad? Because it's true. People only get People like the closer you get to the truth, the louder they screech is what I've learned. Okay.
But Cooper, this applies to you too, buddy boyo. This applies to you too, my dude. Like, because you don't actually accept the truth of like genetics or anything like that. You don't seem to anyway. You seem to like dodge that shit like you're fucking a Neo in the Matrix. Because like the reality of the situation is that a lot of those dudes, people who complain about this issue of like being an incel or being able to get unable to get women, a lot of it comes down to factors completely outside of their fucking control. What it comes down to.
And the other thing that I've learned is people don't want to hear your opinion. They don't want your opinion. They want their opinion coming out of your mouth.
So would you recommend going through the world and applying that as like a tactic to just kind of navigate the world? And then
we live in I don't know how old are you?
31.
Okay, so I mean, you're a bit younger than me. You're almost 20 years younger than me. So here's what I've seen. When I was a kid, it was sticks and stones could hurt my, or sorry, what was it? Sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me. That was one of the lyrics that they taught us. Or it was, I'm rubber and you're glue, and what you say bounces off me and sticks to you. Okay. So that's how they taught kids back then to deal with words. That's how they taught us to deal with things that might not be politically correct or might be hurtful. Today, now it's like words are terrorism or like words are violence. And it's like, you can't say anything without offending somebody. So, I just take a look at it and I'm like, okay, I understand the way things are. I am not going to fight that. I don't care. If you guys want to burn it down, if you all want to be a bunch of pussies, and that's cool. My life is sorted. I'm good. And you guys just carry on, sucking each other off. It's all good. You really just have to learn how to surrender to certain things in life. I think surrendering is a very useful skill for guys to understand. And I've talked about it from time to time on my channel. I've even dedicated, I believe, 1 or 2 videos on, on that topic. So once you see it for what it is, like, why waste your energy fighting it? It's pointless.
Well, for certain groups, do you kind of, do you find yourself keeping them like at a distance? So, for example, if there's something like a group that I hang out with because it's convenient, it's fun to pass the time with them, but then they're not my real friends. Like my real friends are MMA fighters, blue collar workers, or successful in business.
Okay,
right?
So I mean, you just named 3 different categories, and the 5 closest people should be the ones that matter to you, the most. So why do you care about these other people?
Because my good friends, they don't live nearby. So like the people that I spend time with, I mean.
Okay, but are these people that are trying to impose their opinions and beliefs on you that you don't agree with? Like, are they the people that are trying to hear their opinion coming out of your mouth?
Yeah, actually, you just said it perfectly. Fuck
them, who cares? As you get older, you are going to change the people that you surround yourself with. You're not going to, I know one guy from high school, and I've seen him maybe like once in the last 5 years. He texts me like once every few months. Okay, right? It's like, we need to get together, and we never do. Because, he's an entrepreneur. He's got kids. I've got a kid. I got business that I got to do. I got things that I do. So your paths just may never cross ever again. Like, you never really know. It doesn't really matter. It's not that significant, right? Your circle of influence will change. There's this old saying, reason, season, lifetime. Like, people come into your life for a reason. Sometimes they come into your life for a season, and there's others that come into your life for a lifetime. That's okay. Sometimes people show up to teach you a lesson. Sometimes people show up, to teach you what you don't want to be around, right? And there's others that may be around for an entire lifetime. You just have to understand that if somebody around you is like an energy vampire and they're exhaustive, like, I don't know how guys watch negative content, loser content. That's like, oh, you're a loser. You're always going to be a loser. You're not good looking enough. You're never making enough money. The elite rich have all the money, and the DAX stacked up against you. And, it's this culture, it's this religion that's got all the money or something like that. It's like, you know what? Let them believe that. That just makes it easier for me to be.
But it doesn't. Like, the reality of the situation is that for almost every single thing in human society, everything exists on a pyramid of hierarchy. The majority of the resources are controlled by a smaller and smaller number of people. This seems to be the way things naturally sort of fall in. This seems to be the way naturally things sort of naturally fall into place. And this idea that every man that, oh yeah, it's because you're watching loser content, or it's because you're because you're not absorbing the you're not reading the unplugged alpha, or you didn't read enough, you didn't read enough self-help books, or you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Like that's the problem I have. Like this concept of like every man can make it, or some men can make it, is very, very unlikely that a ginger boy here or turtle hermit is ever going to quote unquote make it. Okay, very, very unlikely that the average man is quote unquote going to make it. The average is what the average is, and if every man somehow did make it, well, that would just make it the new average now, wouldn't it? Okay, like if every man made it to $1 million, all of a sudden that just becomes the new average, and the new exception becomes $10 million. Like so it doesn't really matter. Like this concept, this idea of like every man can make it if you just try hard enough, you just bust your ass, and you work hard enough. No, dog, it's not gonna fucking happen, dog. The average person is gonna be born to an average household. They're gonna live an average life. They're gonna work an average job. They're gonna live in an average neighborhood. Their kids are gonna go to average schools, and they're gonna die average. And it's gonna happen time and time again. Okay, most people don't rise up above their circumstances, dude. They don't. The reality of the situation is that is just true. And like the problem I have with people like Richard Cooper is that effectively what they do is that they take their own successes and they take their own, it's like somebody writing a self-help book. If the person doesn't have the foundation to even use your advice, the advice is basically useless. If I tell somebody, hey dog, just invest $6,000 a year into a Roth IRA, but they don't even have the income enough to even save their fucking money to even fucking, or they either don't have the discipline to even save $6,000, or they don't even make enough money to even make $6,000. Okay, well then the advice is basically fucking useless. It's like they might as well just heard that and then went out one ear and out the other ear. The advice doesn't apply. So the problem I have with like a lot of people who are successful, people who do make it, is that they give people advice, but they don't know the backstory of the people that they're giving the advice to. So like the book's just kind of out there floating around the ether, and the people taking this weird advice and say, oh well, all you need to do to make it is this is where like the fucking means of like just do X Pro come from, because like I understand it's a process, and I would hope that someone like a Richard Cooper understands that it's a process. But the reality of the situation is that most fucking businesses fail. Most people fail. The majority of the most people don't succeed. And the hard fact to deal with in life is that you're probably not going to make it. You're probably not going to be the one to make it to the 1%. You're probably not going to be the exception to the rule. You're probably going to fall right back down to the fucking rule. You're going to end up average and die average. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like we've convinced people that being average is something to be like destroyed, or something to be like laughed at. Like, oh, you're average? How dare you be average? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, all you're doing is like you're just making people feel like shit who can't make it. People who just flat out can't make it. Because the reality of the situation is that most people don't make it. We can't all make it by definition. There has to be a winner for there to be a loser. It's just true. Like it just reeks of hopium and copium at the end of the day. If you just work hard enough, you'll make it. Oh, bullshit.
Be successful. That just makes it easier for me to get what I want. That makes it easier for me to get more girls if that's what I want, right? So you have to be okay with leaving people behind. Like you have to prune to grow, if that makes sense.
Well, that's a great way to put it. When you come, I'm kind of getting to the point where like modern life dating, I heard him speaking like last week about something, and it was about being extremely successful with women, to the point that, okay, so I still have this urge, right? And I identify with what he said, because a lot of men probably just want to be in a meaningful relationship, and that's, I think that's pretty normal. But then, for someone like me, I'm not an incel. Like if I try to explain to some of my friends, they think I'm like some incel guy, but I'm not an incel. I mean, I could go on my phone right now and show you. But I'm not an incel, but I still have this urge. Like I have this urge to find a girl, or almost like this life comes full circle when you finally find that one. And I'm struggling with this because
so let me speak to that, because I think I know what you're saying. So let me speak to that, because I want to get to this one other guy here that's in the background area before I wrap up. So I had a conversation with a guy over the weekend, and he said, he basically said, yeah, I'm looking for a girl to move in. And I said, why? He said, well, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? I think that would be cool. It'd make my life easier. I said, well, why? And I asked him why like 3 times. Like every time, he answered, I just kept saying why, maybe like 3 or 4 times. Then it got to the point, like, he started to realize, okay, well, that's not really, I don't really have an answer as to why. I've just been told my entire life that that's what I should be doing. So I'm 34. So why don't I have this by now? Like, I'm doing something wrong. Like, I've got to achieve this goal to get to where I want. It's like, no, you don't. You don't at all. Right. I mean, if you take a look at your entire family, and, I knew a good chunk of family around all those conversations. There's not a lot of people that are living together in long-term relationships that are like ecstatic to be around each other. I can count maybe on one hand everybody that I know in my inner circle that I would
like. Even he's fallen for it though too. Like this idea that like human beings are supposed to be like infinitely happy is like really like it's cancerous to me, because like sometimes it's not about your happiness. Sometimes it's about the I don't want to say the greater good, because that sounds like really too like going beyond what I think it should be. But it's a matter of like it's not always about you at the end of the day. Like it's not always about, oh well, I'm not happy here, so I'm just gonna fucking do whatever I want because like fuck that shit, dude. Fuck having a stable society with families. Fuck that shit, dude. No, I'm not happy in this shit, dog. Like, I'm not saying you should like stay in crappy relationships, because like that can be really bad for you as well. It's gonna come across as like people don't have the ability to like really like look at a relationship and like work through the issue, because like we've been conditioned to believe, we've been conditioned effectively to like if it's like either my way or the highway, and no one can actually compromise anymore. There's very much a great sense of like polarization when it comes to people's views and shit like that. People become so entrenched in their shit where they can't even like conceive for 1 second that maybe their happiness should be subverted for the greater good of like either the children or the family or the whole. Hi, I'm a young man looking for a woman. Is that normal? Like, yeah.
say is in a very happy, productive, long-term relationship. Then you start to realize, okay, well, maybe the goal isn't having a girl move in. Maybe the goal is, if you reframe it to something like being the absolute best version of myself, like being a weapon, so that I can.
What the fuck is this? What is this logic? Be a weapon, bruh. Just be a weapon, bruh. Just be a weapon. Like, fuck, dude. I'm gonna be the absolute best version of myself. Well, what if the best version of yourself is shit? Like, what if it's really bad? Like, I don't know, dude. Fuck.
Choose who I may or may not want to invite into my life on a long-term basis or a short-term basis, or with multiple women at the same time. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever the hell you want. But the point being is, reframe the question more towards mental point of origin and less towards conformity to what the societal narrative has always been, which is live with a girl, have her move in, make babies, and live happily ever after, whatever. Because that doesn't usually play out.
Well, like, he's unironically effectively like arguing for sort of the feminist narrative of like, well, yeah, women don't need families, women don't need to have kids. Because like the reality of the world is that we talked about this earlier, that if men don't do things, women women effectively follow men, and men respond to women to some extent. So like the problem with this worldview is that the moment you start saying that, okay, well, it's okay for people not to have kids, not to have families, and not to form up and not have, you're effectively saying it's okay not to have a functional fucking society at the end of the day. That's what you're basically saying. It's okay not to have this stuff, because if enough people start doing what he does or what everybody else does, all of a sudden you end up with a crappy system at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, these men benefit from this type of system where women are liberated and they have a lot of money and resources, and you have a lot of stuff. Okay, well, you can easily get more and more women. Because he basically said this earlier. Effectively, he basically said, "Well, yeah, if enough men drop out, that means there's more for me." Okay, well, if you end up with everything, that means that you're the bad guy at that point. That means that everybody's gonna come looking for you to get their shit. That's the scary part about this mindset, where it's like, oh well, if more men drop out, it's good for me. Okay, yeah, it's good for you in the short run. In the long run, though, dog, it's over.
You've
read my book, right?
Yeah, and actually, I loaned it to my buddy too. So,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, well, keep asking questions, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Peace.
Yep. I don't know. Like this like weird like love of like hedonism and all this shit like that is really fucking cancerous to me. I don't know. This is fucking weird. And then he's like, why the black pill doesn't work. Okay, and then like there's been a lot of good comments here. I'm not gonna put this on the screen because then it's like might be too much stuff on the screen for sure. But yeah, there's one comment here by this guy named Rick Grimes. If you go to I might post a video link in the I'll do this for you guys at least. You can look at the comments with me. I'm not gonna show them on the thing though, but on the screen. But I will read some of them off. What the fuck is it? Fuck. Here it is. So I'd point out that a lot of this need to socialize in men is age dependent. A teenager is easily recruited into a movement. Not reading that one. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that everything the BP community says is 100% correct, but they do have a point when it comes to women. Your genetic appearance has a huge role to play in the dating market, especially these days. It always has had a huge role in the market. The reality is that women just couldn't pick because they needed men for something else other than just being a pay pig. So, or rather, they needed men to be pay pigs at the end of the day. So, yeah. Especially these days, I do believe that men should max level to the best of their abilities, but let's be honest, a lot of men don't have the natural genetics to reach top 20%. Very true. Of men in terms of attraction and desirability. Some do, and all the looks maxes, bucks maxing, game maxing, and status maxing are still in the 80% zone. I think some red pill advocates do not realize how much genetic appearance play the role in the dating world today. I think that both the RP and the BP advocates have a point, but let's just realize both camps are not 100% right on everything. I don't know, dude. Like, the black pill is basically saying that, your genetics, your biology, all this stuff that we have, like, all this, like, background processing comes before you get to the red pill. So, like, if the red pill is effectively what it is, like, behavioral determinism or behaviorism, well, then the black pill is saying, well, no, we have to get past, where do behaviors come from? Well, they somewhat come from genetic coding, and they somewhat come from biology, but there's like a weird mix of like a sociology in there as well that you also need to look at as well. So like the black pill is just all it did was it just went back one level deeper to say, hey, look, we have this weird view of like, okay, it's not this weird view, but we have this idea of like, okay, genetics plays a factor, as does biology. They're somewhat connected at the end of the day. So like that's all we're really saying. Let's read the replies to that guy's comment here. I agree. Dating is mostly looks nowadays, it seems like, and because dating is almost all online, it's becoming more and more looks based. Blah blah. It's always about looks. However, the dating apps and social media have amplified the importance of looks in the dating market today. Back in the day, women would be willing to date man even he had okay looks. Facts. Yep. Pretty good comment there. Let's see. No one care about that comment there. The black pill leads to defeatism. Work and sacrifice for yourself, even if chances are against you. There is no more heroic battle to fight than the lost one. But fight it all with all your strength. That's life. Okay, dude. Well, you can do that. Yeah, whatever you said, dude. The problem is I've worked about since 15 and hated every job I've had, and it's never paid a livable wage for me ever. Life sucks and work sucks, and I just want to sleep and play video games. The best things people can do is if you can't guarantee your kid an affordable high quality life future, then don't have them. I don't know. This guy breeds copium here. I don't know what the black pill. It can't be good. Well, nice, bruh. You don't even know what it is. How can you talk about it? The black pill is all surrender. Black pill is just like red because the red pill wants people to keep trying ineffective things to try to get women. Unfortunately, I feel as though the title of this video is a bit dishonest. Holy shit, that's so many like black pillers in here. I'm reading the comment section, but I don't want to show it on the screen, so I'm just reading the comments. But I posted the video in the chat, so if you can like look at the comments yourself if you want to. I'm just like reading off the comment section. I'm not showing on the screen though. Not doing that. So, I've gotten in trouble. Not so much in trouble, but I've gotten like it feels like when I actually post the entire like YouTube screen on there, it's a whole lot different than posting just having the pop out screen. So I don't seem to get like copyright striked when I do that instead of like the other shit. So, yeah. The red pill is about understanding and accepting the world and taking responsibility for yourself and a great life in spite of the challenges that exist. Yeah, the red pill is just about coping. In fact, you don't even fully accept the world though, because most of you deny the fact that like genes play a factor in everything. They play a factor in how smart you are, which affects how much money you can make. Plays a factor in how attractive you are, which affects this. It affects how you're going to be treated by women and society at large. Like everything comes back to genes. Everything comes back to biology. Everything comes back to psychology and sociology. The red pill. This one here's a really telling actually. I definitely said that the red pill is effectively a religion. Actually, here we are. This is the comment here. The red pill is essentially the scriptures. The scriptures teach separation and solitude for the most part. In the Old Testament, there were Israelites and Gentiles. In the New Testament, after Christ's death, burial, and resurrection, it was a non-believer and the believer in his gospel. The point is, the people that are closest to you generally have the same outlook on life as you do. Why would you spend time with people that don't? Yes. Someone said when he brought that comment here, why is having the urge to find a woman and be with her long term considered incel? You are a human being with psychological desires. You have a desire for safety and shelter. You have a desire for low stake childhood relationships with acquaintances, and you also have a desire for high stake deep relationships. So it's a natural human need. We know that if you don't have babies the attention they need. If you don't give babies the attention they need, they will grow into broken adults. So for some reason, we think that once you are an adult, you don't have any psychological needs. If you're going to go into reframe your natural desire for a long-term relationship as something that is negative, why stop there? Why not reframe your entire attraction to the opposite sex as a giant distraction? Oh wait, no, that's just sex drive and that's natural. Very good comment here. Very good comment. I love this comment. It is funny how it's so funny how people will play this game where it's like, oh, you have attraction for a relationship or with women or something like that, or a deeper relationship. Oh, that you're you're an incel, dude. You should be a slayer, dog. Just be a slayer. Just fuck women all damn day long and fuck them, dude. Okay, well that works in the short run, but like people do have desires to actually have real relationships and real connections with people in general. I wouldn't necessarily consider him an incel, but any man that feels like he needs a relationship with a woman is definitely a weak man. Okay, dog, I'm done. Oh my god. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yes, the very foundation in which human relationships and babies are made, and especially healthy babies who are productive people in society. Oh no, that makes you a weak man. I'm sorry, but the real strong man is the guy who pumps and dumps women, leaves them all and leaves them all fucking bitter and alone, and he walks away from them. Oh yeah. I'm sure that system will surely create a system of great men who will build the foundation for a great society. Oh no. What the fuck, dude? Like I'm telling you guys, feminism and red pillars have the exact same desires of like basically being hedonist. It's all about being a player, being a game player, fucking women or fucking men, or having a lot of sex, and there's not a lot of responsibility really coming out of that. Like there's no responsibility to anybody or for society, for the nation, for anybody, not even for themselves, not even for their own children. They have zero responsibility to anybody. Fuck, dude. A man, I love these comments, dude. If your goal as a man is to find a woman or to be in a long-term relationship, that just proves you are not really on your purpose as a man. Oh my god! But wait a second, isn't the man supposed to define his own purpose then? What if that is that man's purpose then? What if that is that man's purpose? Why are you telling him that his purpose is wrong? Who are you to tell him that? You know how fucked up that is? Come on, like Jesus Christ. But these guys are like, they're stuck in this weird binary where it's like you either have to be a dumb fuckboy or a fucking beta cuck who just fucking like who loves a feminism and who can only who will kowtow at the church of feminism. There is a good healthy middle ground there where it's like, okay, well, I'm a strong man or I'm a decent man who realizes that, okay, well, I can't always be a fucking asshole to my wife, but also can't be the a soy boy cuck who lets my wife fuck other men. Come on, dude. Like this is like some fucking like bottom tier fucking 70 IQ fucking room temperature IQ fucking takes, dog. What the fuck, dude? Fucking retard tier logic right here. Oh my god. Holy shit. A man on his purpose might want a relationship with a woman, but still his main focus is on his goals and aspirations. But what if his goals and aspirations are with the woman? You're like forgetting that part. Like, fuck, dude. God, if you feel like you need a woman to complete you, you're a weak man, period. I might agree with that one to some extent. There are some dudes who are quite literally so fucking like they break. I have a friend who likes that. He breaks down if he doesn't have a girlfriend. That's not healthy either. If you constantly need a need for validation in your life, you might have a problem there. You should at least come somewhat complete. But wanting to have companionship in life is not a fucking weakness. It means you're fucking a human being. It means you're a human being. Maybe that you have human needs, psychological and other needs. Oh, just get a dog, bro. Yeah, it doesn't scratch the itch the same way, dog. Of having a human being next to you. Fuck, dude. Jesus. I stopped having the need to be with someone the day I had a kid. The moment my son was born, I understood my brain was pushing me to be with someone all my life. Okay. God. I understand the anger of a lot of BP believers because I don't believe every guy can be alpha male. Most men are alpha male, dog. Obviously, like come on, dude. I think genetics play a role. If you don't have a strong father and to teach you social skills, how to read body language, how to deal with rejection, so and read social cues plays a huge role. A lot of disorders come like ADHD, ADD, and NVLD, SCD, and ASD greatly affect social skills. Science has proven that childhood trauma due to abuse and neglect rewires the brain. With that said, I don't condone any hate of violence against anyone. You have to do the best with what you have, and become the best version of yourself, and accept the fact that some people just could get a better hand. Is it fair? No, life is not fair. Fair is for fairy tales. Okay, I can understand that to some extent. The unfortunate thing is that the black pill does work, saves so many men from getting used if they were black pill to begin with. It allows you to realize the importance of looks, and mainly that the only when you come to getting women, it's not about using copes whenever things don't go your way. Will help you try get appearance. Blah blah blah. What the fuck is going there? What the fuck is a weird comment? Rich Cooper selling soap in his prime. The one thing that annoys me about red pillers is that you seriously believe that you will peak in your 40s. Ha 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 ha. If you're red pill, you know deep down that you've seen the black pill reality. The black pill happens to you daily. Yeah. People are now saying it should be rich versus wheat waffles. I'd probably pay to see that. Fuck it. There was another good comment here I wanted to read, if I can find it. There was one I wanted to read because I read it before. Why would anyone follow the black pill ideology when they can just live their lives? You can make the same argument about the fucking red pill, dog. Like I'll give you guys some fucking real obvious like reality pills here. Most men don't even know the fucking red pill even fucking exists. Okay, most men don't even know the blue pill fucking exists. Most men don't even know these pills fucking exist anyway. This is a small microcosm of people who are like just in here fucking arguing back and forth about women and shit or other crap. Come on, dude. I get recommended some black pill videos on YouTube and just wonder why I would ever watch that, something that's related to my hobby, interests, or gross. Nobody ever is bitching about how women are, and nobody really cares when you could just live your life to the fullest. Okay, dude. Why would anyone watch a middle-aged Why would anyone watch a middle-aged man who has been a simp for most of his life teach people how to be high value? Ooh. If you watch a man that sells soap to lonely broke men, what's your point? Holy shit. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh, that's a good one. Holy shit. Oh shit. No, I'm back. Hold on. Let me there's one comment I wanted to read that I read before. Fuck, dude. Oh, here it is. Found it. The black pill is not supposed to work. It simply posits that there are some interrelated truths. 1, looks are critical to success with women, especially with today's swipe online hookup apps. 2, looks are genetically determined, though they can be minimally improved via diet, exercise, grooming, wardrobe. 3, attractiveness standards are widely agreed on, not in the eye of the beholder. Who can argue with these assertions? See what the comments say to that guy. When someone is trying to sell you something, game courses, coaching, they'll never tell you looks and height are the number one factors to attract women. They'll tell you comforting lies that the BP is bullshit. The game is more important. And sure, it helps, but won't be a big deal if you're dealing with very bad cards since birth, aka short and ugly. Very good comment here. Yes, looks are the primary filter women use to select men. If you're not 8 out of 10, Chad, you're fighting up a steep hill. Looks are more important to women than men, as women must have much higher standards due to the realities around childbearing and rearing. Game can help men who are 6 or 7 the most. Though the Chads need to have at least a minimal proficiency with game. Yeah, minimal, extremely small. Men 5 or below incels are totally hopeless. Women will always cruelly reject them. Okay, another comment here about, I think, the original poster, I think. No, it's not. And that's the main reason people are getting more and more taller. Women are more picky than ever, and short guys are surely getting removed on the market and out of the genetic pool. Yes, the 2 most important elements of a man's looks are height and face. Height can't be improved at the gym. It's 100% genetic. 14.5% of Americans are over 6 foot tall. So many women are simply not attracted to 85% of men based on one set of characteristics. Yep, very true. See if I can find one more comment in here, then I'll post the link in the chat so we can all talk. There's definitely a Richard Cooper video I might play tomorrow. I'll play it tomorrow. I'm not going to waste my time today, but yeah. Listen up, dudes. Once and for all, I do believe in black pill. That's over-exaggerated. He spelled it over-exaggerated wrong. Holy shit. Like, yes, height. He spelled height wrong too. Hate. He said hate. Hate matters. Looks do matter a lot, but if you only have this and there is nothing to bring to the table except this, you will still be a worthless man. I'm telling you, I am a 6'1.5". Why the fuck do you even put the half there? Fuck. And I have a good jawline and so on, but I do not have game, and my friends and mine is not a relationship. He's a gorgeous girl. Okay, dude. I don't understand why people say that black pill is BS. What they state is that beauty and height are the most important things when it comes to attracting women, and that's true. If you're a tall, handsome guy, you're almost whatever a chick you want to game is almost optional for you. Blah blah blah. Yeah, there's a lot of true shit here. So I'm not gonna keep reading comments here. Let me read the comments real quick, and then I'll post this link in the chat. I'll take a little break. Gotta take a break, and then I'll come back and we'll start doing regular, ordinary live discussion. See how the red pill is very safe. Yeah, it very much is like the Spike TV of fucking red pills. Black pill is free. Don't need a book for that shit. Yeah, you don't. Black pill is the undeniable truth. Women just don't like men. Let's keep it frank. The only way they act right is if you impose extreme laws on them or if you destroy them socially with shame. Yeah, it's true. Dude, it's fucking true. Very true. I've had conversations with some women where it's like I'll ask them very simple questions of like, where do you think your rights come from? Like, where do you think rights actually come from? And they'll appeal to God or something like that. Okay, well, and like of course the question will always come back down to, okay, well, if you somehow lose your rights to a competing tribe, did God forsake you or what? Okay, but if your rights do come from God, okay, well then is God a male or is God a female? Well, they have to concede that God's a male because our Heavenly Father who art out in heaven, yada yada yada. So it starts off with our Heavenly Father. So fuck. So all of a sudden you always come back to men being the source of your rights, being the source of your power, and where you have to get your rights from. It's funny. But like the moment it's so weird because like they'll act like rights come from like they still have rights. Like I've actually had people argue with me and tell me that, oh well, rights come from you even if you somehow lose your rights, you still have your rights. I'm like, how does that make any sense? Like the rights on paper you have don't matter if you can't actually use your rights. Now, come on. Like if you have rights on paper that say, hey, you have a right to a house, but either A, there are no houses, or B, I don't know, like the people are impeding your right to a house. Well, do you really have the right to a house at that point? No, the right doesn't exist in reality. The right exists on paper. Like, and at the end of the day, rights only matter when you can actually exercise those rights. No one gives a fuck about the rights on paper. They give a fuck what can I actually do in the real world with my rights. Fuck, dude. We know that genetics is not everything, but it is the base. Without base, you are fucked up. Yeah. Ain't no escaping the black pill. Very true. You heard of the concocted. What's he reading? I'm reading from a comment section. Yeah, sorry. Think they deny genes. Very true. I'm dumb as fuck if I like you. Red pill is behavior determinism can overcome all issues. Yeah. They deny physics. They deny the very foundation of the universe. Yep, very true. In other words, your entire body produces consciousness. Yeah, I actually believe that's pretty true, actually. It's not like it's just in the brain. It comes from every single portion of your body, for sure. Yeah. Black pill is about I'm ugly, blah, 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 blah. It's over, blah, blah, blah. It's just the acceptance stage, and the next is liberation. Yeah. Men's entitlement isn't entitlement list. I thought it was going to be long. Then it pulls up 0. I'm a weak man then. Feminism and red pill or ideal society is shit. It's very true. Yeah, it's one of hedonism, one of no responsibility, and yeah, no child rearing at all. You just don't do anything. Fuck your kids. You know, you have them, but fuck the kids. It's all about me. It's all about what I want to do. It's all about on my purpose and on my grind set. You know, and I'm making my money. It's like, okay, well, then what about the rest of society? Well, fuck them. Because, you know, fuck society, fuck the society that they gave me the education I have, they gave me the roads I drive on, they gave me the fucking system I participate in. No, fuck all that shit. That means nothing to me. And the only thing that means shit to me is making money, fucking women, and eating food or eating nice foods and hanging out my fucking nice house. Okay. Reason you're here, your father's relationship with your mom makes him a weak man. Yep, very true. Yeah, not very true. I'm just like joking there, but yeah, breeding and protecting offspring. Yeah, who wants that? Oh my god. These red pillars are way too much. Genetics beat me in the first half. I'm beating it in the next round. I'm just find a purpose, bro. Most people's purpose is to get a 9 to 5 and have kids with their wife. Red pill stuff is BS. Yeah. Bro, your career can't substitute a family. It's just male feminism, you know. Get a fur baby, y'all. Yeah, basically what it sounds like. We have a drive to reproduce. It's our nature, but it doesn't mean you can judge men only based on that. It's a female mindset. Yeah. Let's see, any more good comments here? Bro, all that shit to the side. Does anyone here want to reach their prime at 40? Who wants to pump and dump at 40? Fuck, dude. Dude, Cooper getting roasted in his own comment section. Damn, yeah. I'm new to the black pill. What does mogged mean? I'm sure somebody answered that question before, so I'm gonna let them do it. All right, well, let's do this shit. Let's invite the link, copy clipboard. I'll be on for like another hour and a half or so. So yeah, we'll do this shit. Control V, there's the link and message. I will be back. Let's see if I can find a good here's a good intermission. I did this one last week, I'm gonna use it again because it's a pretty good GIF or GIF, however the fuck you say it. I'll be back. Don't leave, guys. I'll be back. I don't have any music to play, but you can just enjoy some where the fuck is it? Here it is. Yeah, here we are. Here's a good nice solid picture here for the intermission here. Here you guys go. I'll be back. All right, we are back in business, boyos. We're back. Let's see. Everybody's still here. All right, good shit. All right, well, let's see. We got one person sitting in the queue. Let me put this over here. Let's do the remove that from the stream. Cut this off. And all right, let's get this guy in here. I think you were in here before, right, Goran?
Yeah. You had me on the stream.
You sound really quiet.
A week ago. Okay.
Put your volume up just a little bit more, not too high, but just a little bit.
Is it now better?
What?
Is it better?
Nope.
Now? Wait. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up all the way up. Can you hear me now? No.
Hold on, let me say something.
Buddy boyos?
Yeah, you sound good. All right, we're perfect. All right.
Yeah, you think so? Okay. Yeah, like this Richard Cooper guy. I really like how he's like not giving anything concrete. They're just like coping, and he's like saying to him, well, yeah, fuck these dudes that you're like hanging out with that you usually are hanging out with, but then what? So yeah, he just breaks up with him, and what is he going to do then? Like, who is he talking? Who will he be spending his time with? You know, like it's really stupid. Like, and there's like most people, like most of these mentors, they don't give you like really practical advice that you can like just carry out. You know, they're like
What?
giving you some hints and stuff to
Like, that's not necessarily true. Like, the advice they give is kind of like going to like a financial manager to like to tell you, hey, if you want to have investments, you have to save 20% of your income. Then do X percent, put X percent to an IRA or something like that, some sort of investment account, and then yeah, you can kind of at that point you can figure it out. But the problem with that type of advice though is that it only applies to people who actually have the amount of income or money to actually do those steps to begin with.
You can still like invest, but you won't get a lot of out of it. You know, you need to have some starting capital. But then again, I think most people know that you should like invest. But I don't know, like, in this particular video, did he give him like concrete advice, like this little bit that you showed? I don't.
Well, he basically just told him like, "Hey, fuck your friend, fuck him,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna just do something else." That's like, okay, well, like, I guess it's advice he could act on. He could literally just do that right now. He could say, "Hey, guys, we're not friends anymore," and walk away from those guys. But it's like, I mean, is it worth it? I mean, like, I keep people around me all the time who I don't necessarily agree with on everything. We just like don't talk about don't talk about those issues. We just kind of figure it out. We just kind of like we talk around those issues. So it's like, like, and those guys might not be my best friends, but they're still friends. So they're still people I can talk to. And truth be told, they're actually kind of nice to have around because it does give me a view into like the mindset of somebody who thinks that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost kind of nice to have people around who don't agree with you sometimes, because if you walk around just in like an echo chamber your whole life, you don't actually have a real view of the world to some extent. Like, what's the other side talking about?
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, because that's also the way that I handle stuff like this. You know, I had some like really nasty conversations with people that like where they just totally disagreed with me, and like I was like just some stupid faggot in their eyes. But you know, in the end, it's I could still like just come to them and talk to them, and maybe even get some help from them, because I'm not the type of guy that that is just going to isolate people like this from my life, because you know, in the end, I guess I'm strong enough to just don't give a fuck about all this shit that has been between us. You know, in the end, if you have to live with people of all kinds, or you have to learn to live with all people, to work with them together.
And oftentimes, actually, what you learn by dealing with people you don't really agree with is that what you oftentimes learn is that they probably even agree with you, but yet
But they don't understand you.
no, it's not even that. If you just say it in a certain way, they'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like if you just if you're very
That's what I meant.
careful,
They don't understand you.
yeah.
Yeah, I had that a lot of times when they just don't understand you, or sometimes they don't even want to understand, because I guess we all kind of want the same thing. We all have some basic needs that we all want to accomplish, but a lot of people have just these delusions. They have like certain ideas of how things should be done, and everything else that's like outside of this box, outside of these rules, is like bad, or is unacceptable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like basically they don't want to uh, like lose their delusions. Let's say like they don't want to accept the black pill, because they have like these delusions, but in the end you both want the same thing.
Well, it really does
Just that
depend.
they hold on to this like belief.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to, though. If you're talking to the ringleaders, well, they actually do. A lot of them might not even believe the shit coming out of their own mouths, but they might just say it because it makes them money. And then the followers, the followers of those movements, those are the guys you kind of you want to go after, because like those guys, they don't really have like, there's no real financial incentive there. They just want help in general. So like if you provide them with,
But still,
a better solution or the truth, well then all of a sudden it's like, huh, okay, well I can get to him. I can never get to the top guy, because like he has such a financial incentive to actually keep it keep the a grift going, you know.
Yeah, I was talking about like the follower that doesn't have like
He's not like
financial incentive.
yeah, he's
But
not
even
attached to
then,
the movement per se. Yeah.
yeah, but even then it's very hard, because they just, it's like really, it's like they just blindly believe in it, or not blindly, but they just sometime, or at some point they just started to assume something, and they just took it like for the truth. That's like um that's what happens when you don't like, if you're not skeptic enough, if you
Well,
don't like.
the scary part is that some of those guys, they might just be in too deep. Like, you know what I mean? Like imagine if you're like one of those dumb fucks who spent $5,000 paying for a dating coach boot camps, and it's like it's like the a sunk cost fallacy. You've already spent all this money. So like if you were to pull out now, you feel like a fucking idiot because you spent $5,000 paying for shit that didn't fucking work, for paying for snake oil. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like for them, it's almost like a matter of pride of like, I can't be wrong because I already spent $5,000. I can't be wrong here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah, I know not how you feel, how people like this feel. Yeah, it's like you're too it's too late to go back. It's like the point of no return.
so yeah, that's probably a huge, like, depending on, it's probably not as many people, because most people don't have this type of disposable income. But like, I could totally see some of these guys like who like they're so deep down into the bullshit, and they spend all this money out. Like, okay, well, I have to keep going now. Like, this stuff has to work. Like, my life hasn't gone any better at all. My dating prospects haven't improved at all. But hey, maybe the next course will work. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
and I guess I was talking bullshit when I said that mentors like him don't give practical advice, because he might give some practical advice, because he's like in the finances and stuff like this. But I was like more referring to people that just that concentrate on on the mind and stuff like this, on mindsets. I think mindsets are very important, but sometimes it's like, yeah, I now have this mindset, but things are still going wrong, or not the way that they should be going.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the reality of any device is that if you don't have the a base foundation in which to actually act on the advice, then the device is basically useless. You know, you might as well not even have it.
Yes.
Yeah. Very true.
Another thing, you were talking about like the gender of God.
What's that?
Yeah, so you said the Father. You know, like in Christianity, I'm not Christian,
Uh-huh.
but I do know some things. And in Christianity, you have the Trinity. So basically, you have like a Father, you know, and you have the Son and
The Holy Spirit. Yeah.
And the Holy Spirit is feminine.
Yeah, I believe that's true. Yeah.
It's like if you the Greek name for the Holy Spirit would be Sophia, Hagia Sophia.
Ah.
So yeah. So it's like, you know, the Sophia is obviously feminine name, and it's feminine in Greek. But I guess also in Hebrew. Fun fact, it's a little bit branching off, but you know the Star Trek salute, like what Spock does.
What'd you say? You want to see it in Star Trek? What?
Salute, like, you know, like the greeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, you know how the actor is a Jew, and they had like a ritual, a ceremony in the synagogue, and they were like calling onto the Holy Spirit. And during this ritual, you're supposed to close your eyes and not look and not to look. But he was like very, um, what is it called? Neugierig. Oh man, I forgot the word. It was like very interested. He wanted to know like what were they doing. And so he opened his eyes and he saw like I think two men or like one man doing like the Spock sign, yeah, and saying the prayer, and that's where he got the this the salute, the greeting.
Huh. Interesting.
Just so you know, yeah. And there was something else that I wanted to talk about. I have to disagree with you when you say that like looks are like the most important thing, because I think that money is like there's just a lot of like women that prefer money over looks. I mean, there are like a lot of like rich men that are like they're not like they're not they don't have like good looks. They're old, but they still get a lot of pussy because they're rich, because they have status.
I would say money definitely helps. It's called face and LMS, not so much
Yeah.
just a matter of so like the LMS is the looks, money, and status part of that. So like it's like almost like almost like another like holy trinity in a way. LMS is like a trinity to some extent. Like if you're lacking in one area, well, another area can help shore you up. But I guess the biggest thing about looks is that sort of something obviously something you're born with, and really I would say like it's like genetics really plays a big portion like of how you're going to end up in life to a large extent as well. When it comes to like looks being important, though, it just kind of comes down to like the amount of data and studies that we have on this saying that women are interested in like genetic fitness, and your face and the way you look is a huge measurement of that genetic fitness.
Yeah.
And effectively, in definitely in extreme examples where someone that is extremely wealthy, women will definitely to some extent will overlook your subpar looks for that so that to get access to that money. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they wouldn't prefer that you look better than that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that hey, if there was the equivalent of you with the same amount of wealth, would he looked up better than you, that she wouldn't totally go for that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I also think that, you know, a lot of the times, like, I think that if you're like not mentally, no, not mentally, but physically ill, like if you don't have like Down syndrome, or like if you like have like perfect, I don't know, like focus on your chest or somewhere where it's like visible, maybe like on your face, um, then then you're fine. Like it's not you're fine, but it's like the lowest. It's like the ugliest that a man can be. Like if he has like some really nasty ulcers on his face, or if he has like Down syndrome or something. And I guess rich people don't often have these things, because they have like education or something, or they just wouldn't be rich if they had stuff like this. Although a lot of the times you're born into wealth. So I guess that's why money is also like more important, or it seems to be more important than looks, because you have like you have like the extremes of money, of wealth. You have like the very poor, and you have like the very rich, like Bezos or something.
I mean, I would just say another obviously a knock to the whole wealth over looks thing is that there are poor there are high school kids who probably have body counts higher than these rich guys, and those high school kids are probably quote unquote the Chads of society to some extent. So if those guys are just slaying with zero income or no money at all, or these poor homosexuals are effectively out there slaying like nobody's business. Well, what that effectively says to me is that okay, well, it looks first and everything else second. Like as women get older, if they get more covetous and more a gold digger light, of course they're going to start going for stuff like for wealth and stuff like that as they get older. But
yeah, that's right. Because at the time when a woman is young, she doesn't like really think about the future, I guess, so that much. She just lives like in the now. And when they get older, they like become more wiser, and they think about the future of their future and the future of their kids. I don't know. Have you heard like there was like this very popular porn star? I don't know her name.
Mia Khalifa?
Huh?
Mia Khalifa?
Might be. She was like complaining that she wasn't getting enough money when she was a porn star. Although she was.
It was definitely her. Yeah, it was her.
Yeah. And that she I guess she was like, she's like very delusional because she thinks that she's now making money off Instagram, I think.
Probably. I know she went for. I think she went to go be a sportscaster or something like that at one point, and I think she got fired or she got left from that job. So I think she actually ended up married too, and I think they recently got divorced because she effectively married a fan, and obviously she's so like blown the fuck out that what man could she even bother to pair bond with? So in reality,
yeah, that's right.
I mean, like when you've gotten your fucking back fucking just destroyed by fucking BBC, white cock and everything else at the end of the day. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, when every fucking Tyrone and Chad has been through you, at the end of the day, like, what man on the face of this planet could possibly satiate you at that point? Like,
yeah, that's right. I guess you have to fake like every time you have to fake like an orgasm or something. But yeah, like she also has a kid. Did you know? She has a kid, and she was like I guess she was also feeling like ashamed of her profession, of her former occupation.
Yeah, they notice how they feel the shame after the fact, not like when they're doing it, but after the fact.
Yeah. She was also like feeling ashamed after the fact that she became like popular due to her profession. I mean, if she would like start with social media like from the start, she wouldn't be as popular as now, because people subscribe to her not because or like follow her not because she has such a rich personality, but because she was or is one of the most popular porn stars.
Hold on, according to people, they can't hear you at all, dude.
Holy fuck.
Not hear you at all, but they can you're so quiet, it's not even funny.
Oh, that's bad. It's like you're talking like with no one.
Well, apparently they can hear you, just barely. Like that's what it sounds like. So you're there, but yeah, it's not like they can't hear you at all. It's like they said. I can't hear shit from Gorn, basically saying like you're really like quiet.
I don't know what I can do. Like, I guess
Oh my god, he's an ant, guys.
I am an ant. I am an ant. I had like 2 ants fucking in the toilet, like in the morning. It was very funny. Like the female was just constantly trying to escape the male. And the male was just like running behind the female. It was funny. It was a good shit.
Did you fix your mic?
No, I don't know how to do it.
Oh god, how'd you fix it last time?
I just did the same thing. I didn't change the settings. It's weird.
He's a cosmonaut on Sputnik. Bitches like Lana Rose pissed me off. Like you knew you was going now. You want to cry on a podcast about how shit you paid for. You were briefed on. Shit is very true.
Holy.
Can you hear me now better?
Holy crap, dude! You're so loud. Hold on.
Oh, I'm just omega stupid. I like. Wait a minute.
I had to like lower your mic volume down to nothing. Holy crap, you're so loud.
Yeah, like, can you? Oh, I'm still very loud.
Yeah, lower it down a little bit. More. I can like hear everything. Oh my god.
How is it now?
I think you sound. Chat. How does he sound? You guys talk a little bit more. Yeah.
A little bit more. Should I turn it up or should I turn it down?
Turn it down a little bit. Because I can also
Like
adjust your mic volume as well. So.
Like now? Is it okay?
I think you sound good to me. So just hold on for a second. We'll let the chat catch up with the stream. And see what they say.
Now we have to repeat everything we said.
No, fuck that shit, dude.
Oh yeah. Let us talk about the meme that you showed.
Lana Rose crying about drink her own throw up, which they tell you may have to do on video, then cried like she didn't know. Fuck out of here. Oh god, it's true. Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about the meme soon picture.
Which meme?
The meme soon one. You know, Monsoon from
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this one here. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, boy.
The memes, the DNA of the soul.
Yeah, man, I played the game back in the day. Oh, it's quite some. Yeah, this one. Oh, he was pretty hard as a boss.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. And the clip just was like really cool. So do you agree with the phrase? Do you agree that memes are the DNA of the soul?
I mean, like a meme is basically what like this is a cultural kind of artifact that we like kind of all agree on, is like, or like a meme sort of like, especially the ones that are on politics, definitely convey some sort of like truth or meaning in the meme. It's very, very simple, very in a very simple and condensed form. So yeah, I love the the concept of memes. DNA of the soul, I don't know about that, but like definitely memes definitely they obviously play a huge part in society now, and they probably always have been, depending on how far back in time you want to look at a meme per se. But yeah, memes definitely matter. Yeah.
So you don't want to like talk about whether humans have souls or like what a soul is?
I'm sure you can go bring it to the tops if you want. What do you think a soul is?
I guess I have an opinion on that. I don't say that it's like absolute, but mine is pretty like based on symbolism. And I guess like if we're talking about souls, then soul is like it sounds a little bit like, like the Latin word for the sun. And I guess that's also this has like an astrological correspondence. And when people are talking like about like their zodiacal sign, they're always like talking about, like normies are talking about the sun sign, or the sign in which your sun was during your birth.
Yeah.
That's because like I'm a little bit, I'm into astrology and into like the occult, so I know a little bit of stuff. I know like some correspondences. Just not just for like, a lot of people that when they like learn astrology or something, or like the magic, they want to use it. But I'm like more like of a guy that I just want to know it because it's like cool. It's like just so fucking interesting, like all these Greek, Roman, and Egyptian gods. I liked it like when I was a little kid, since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So about like the sun, and the sun symbolizes like your goals, your essence, your will. So it's basically like what you want to do, if that makes sense. And so I guess the soul is like it's plays such an important role because like it's basically like what you want to do with your life, what's like your ultimate goal. And I guess like a lot of people, they're they're driven by memes, not like, this might sound a little bit ridiculous, because like memes are when we talk about memes, we're like mostly talking about like funny pictures and stuff. But as you like said, it's more than this. It's like concepts or ideas that are being like distributed throughout like cultures. And traditions, meme is like a very young concept, but I guess traditions are also memes. What do you think?
They're like proto memes
Like
in
Thanksgiving.
proto memes in a way, I guess.
Proto memes.
Yeah, like yeah, I can maybe like latch onto that a little bit. Yeah, like traditions are, like they sort of get passed down, or like memes definitely get passed down. They evolve over time.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So you agree, like it's traditions are basically like memes. They're like just self-replicating, and in a way that someone has like this meme or this idea or this tradition, and he like passes it down to his maybe to his neighbors, but mostly to his descendants. So some traditions are memes. Now, a lot of people, or back in the old days, they lived for what? They lived for religion, for God. They went to war for God. They were fighting for their homes and for their traditions. The reason why people might like even go to war is like, even though they know that they die, is because they know that like their culture, their memes will live on. Even if they die, their memes will live on. And so in a way, memes are truly the DNA of the soul. Because like, I mean, if you're not going to war, like back in the day, it was like, if you're not going to war, if no one's going to war, then the war will be lost, and you still might die, because they might just kill all the men and leave only the women to breed with them, for example. Or maybe they even kill the women, and women were way more, how is it called? Submissive?
They're far more malleable for sure. Easier to manipulate. Yeah.
Yeah, so they won't they might keep up the traditions, but you wouldn't bet on that. So that's like for the old days. But what about like the new ones, like the modern day, the modern time? So now in modern times, we still have like concepts and ideas, and these ideas and concepts, they are mostly propagated through media. And for the normie, it's like the mainstream media, it's like the news.
Hmm.
And we are seeing that like things that the mainstream media, Twitter and Facebook, that the things that they propagate, that they advocate for, they are like manipulating and molding people and our modern society. And for example, and I guess in this way, again, memes are the DNA of the soul, because people, for example, I guess in America you have a lot of like SJWs that like seem to have like their only goal in life is to like vanquish the evil demons of political incorrectness. Because they feel like offending people, even though it's like even though you even didn't want to offend anyone, is something that should be like punished severely, or should be like pointed out every time that it happens.
Do you think that that memes or these ideas can be passed down genetically? Like there's a whole field
Like
of
Assassin's Creed.
epigenetics. There's a whole field of epigenetics would basically say like I don't know too much about the field per se, but I do know like it basically says like things like trauma can be like passed down epigenetically to children and
Okay. Yeah,
it
I
can
guess
carry
yes. Yeah,
yeah.
but not in the way that you might think. So, of course, epigenetics they play a big role. So they're like these agouti mouse. You know what the agouti mouse is?
No.
It's basically like It's like or mice that were like fed differently. They have so basically their ancestors were fed. I think I'm not. I don't quite know. What I might say, what I will say might not be 100% true, but I guess they were fed more like fat-rich food,
Hmm.
and because of that, their ancestors were like pretty fat, and this molded their epigenetics in a way that their fur was brown or something like yellow brown, so it differed from other mice that weren't like uh, very fat-rich food. And these are called agouti mice. You can Google it. I'm not 100% sure on it, but you can see that like stuff that epigenetics do exist. And if your ancestors were mal new what is it called?
Malnourished.
Yeah, malnourished. That this will probably also have an effect on you. I don't know if there are like studies about this, but I'm sure that like this has like an effect. And if you were like born during wartime, or like during very dire times, um, then you might have some epigenetic, or after like shortly after some dire times, then you might have some epigenetic like footprint of these conditions. Or and if you extend this to ideas, then yes, if someone has like if there's like some family tradition or something, or like someone is like very convinced to, I don't know, to uh, to only eat maybe like vegetables, to be vegan, to be vegetarian, then this will probably also have like some epigenetic consequence.
Yeah. I
And
mean, especially
if we,
over a long enough time scales, if that goes on
yes,
long enough, it just kind of becomes like innate to that thing. So like, what becomes genetic almost becomes like, I tend to think about human beings in terms of like hardware and software. Like, your hardware is obviously just the human body, and then you have the
yeah,
software of like how you think. And I think that depending on the race you are or the even the ethnic group you are, like if you think of like the human mind as being like, if you take like the traditional ideas of like, traditional operating system of like, you have Apple or iOS, you have not iOS, what do they call it? What does Apple call their main operating system for their actual computers? It's not iOS, I think it's iOS.
macOS.
Yeah, Mac, what do they call it? Mac OS. Yeah, Mac OS, and then you have Windows, obviously. And then you have basically have like a Linux or maybe Chrome or something like that. And
Yeah,
basically, like
I
if you take human beings and like I think human beings are kind of like, you know we can talk like those systems could probably talk to each other if they had the correct code going in between them to transfer information back and forth. But there are still fundamental, obvious fundamental differences between like how those systems work on this on a very very baseline area of this matter the way they were coded initially. So like, one person with a hardware set with a different set of software, might be able to talk to somebody else. And I guess my whole point is basically saying that like, things that are passed down, via the sort of like the software of like human being will eventually kind of becomes like, imagine if like Windows was just like, instead of, it's kind of like actually this actually happened actually with like Windows what's it called, Internet Explorer, where initially it didn't come with a web browser, but one came with one, it came with its standard now. So like, instead of like, imagine like Windows, you still, let's take a human being for example here. We have a human being where human being is here, and then in the next generation of human beings, that human being also, instead of like Windows having to be, not Windows, but instead of Internet Explorer having to be installed every time, it's just there already. You know what I mean?
oh, okay, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some of these epigenetic effects, they're like they might be even like dealing with problems like these, or like for example, if you like eat some exotic food, then epigenetically you can may pass down to your descendant that they should like produce some exotic enzyme to like maybe process this food better, or like produce more of these enzyme. But I'm not smart enough. I'm not. I am studying in this field. Like I'm attending university.
Uh-huh.
I'm not like too well informed about this. But like I guess like nurturing is is this what is so basically what you just said may be nurturing, because if the parents, they are going, if they are not neglectable towards their child, then they're going to like pass down like some or a lot of their like ideas and concepts about life.
Yeah, and those ideas and concepts and cultural things would effectively just be like the software that gets installed onto Windows or Mac
Yeah.
OS or Linux. That's all we're really talking about here. What I'm trying to say though is that from an genetic standpoint, though, eventually though those programs are just like, instead of having to be installed, they're just there. They're just almost
Yeah.
innate to the machine. Yeah.
Yeah, this might be, but not in a way that that your child might like think entirely the way that you did, but maybe like your child might just get like, I process this food better. Like, if you're like, then yes, then you could like say that, yeah, ideas can be genetically or epigenetically like passed down, but this is like pretty speculative what I just said. So you can just like say that what I just said was bullshit. Because like I think it's like very cool to talk about stuff like this, but I don't want like anyone to like quote me or like somebody on this.
Yeah, obviously,
Because
I'd hope that people would have enough know-how to like realize that two people talking on the internet are not qualified to talk about.
yes, or maybe not qualified yet. I don't know like where my career is going to take me,
Yeah.
but who knows? But not right now. And I wanted to talk about something else, and this is like, so I'm studying pharmacy, and we have like big WhatsApp groups, chat groups, where we like post news, or where we can like where we discuss things, where we like exchange information basically. And there was like this one WhatsApp group from the semester above me, so like it was one semester higher, and there was I think it was like a woman, and she posted like a video to a German video about the sea, about the virus. Can I say the name?
You can say
Or,
like just say Chad 19 or something like that. I don't know.
Chat 19. Yeah, about Chat 19. And so, and what happened was like, it was like the basic, normies would call this like a conspiracy theory,
Uh-huh.
because they was like telling like, oh, this virus was like genetically bioengineered by the Wuhan lab, and it broke out of Wuhan, and I don't know if this is true or not, and I personally I don't believe that it's true or false. I'm not like thinking that way, because like to know this, you have to be to be an insider, or at least you have to be an expert that has worked with the Chat 19. But a lot of my classmates, or like students, they immediately started to shitpost and to insult the woman that posted this video. I guess she was like asking for this, in a way, but I don't, and I guess you have to be strong enough to not take like notice, or not notice, but to not like let yourself be affected by shit posts or shitstorms like this, shitstorms. But still, it's not a constructive thing to do. And I was like the only one. I was literally the only one amongst like hundreds or so that stood up to her, stood up like against like this shitstorm, but not really. I was doing it like the safe way, a little bit smart. I was just like saying like, guys, I don't know like what you're like talking about, but I was like informed. I was knowing what they were talking about, but I think you should stop. Yeah. So I was like not taking any sides, because I didn't want it to be shitstormed on myself, but I
Yeah.
wanted this to, and it ended. And it's like so stupid how like all of these fucking pseudo pharmacists that like they started all of this because they like think that they're like experts and they're like professionals, but trust me, I know they know shit. They don't know anything, because to know stuff like this, it's not just enough to study pharmacy. You have to like study it till the end, and then you have to be to work in this field. You have to like acquire more knowledge, and then again you have to work with the Chat 19 itself to know this, to have like a valid like point of view. But
Yeah.
all of these fucking shitheads, all of these people that like think that they're like, I don't know, like experts and smart people, they were like they had like this fucking horse shit in their minds, in their brains, and they were like just shitstorming all over the chat. It's so fucking disgusting. It's disgusting how people know jack shit about this stuff, and they like feel like still like they just believe like some fucking experts, although there are like a lot of other experts that like say the let's say different stuff, and they just happen to believe this one guy, You know, because in the end, for the normie, for us normal people, or not maybe us normies, but you know, for people that don't know much about this, it's or don't have like the experience in the working field, they have to rely on a belief. It's not knowledge, it's belief, because you don't know for sure. You have to trust someone.
Yeah.
And it's always like a question of who do you trust? Which expert do you trust? And they just happen to trust someone else, and because of this, based on this, they were like ready to like shred this woman apart, like verbally, of course, not like physically, because they're all
Yeah, of
pussies.
course. Yeah.
But still, this is like disgusting. This is like stupid.
Yeah, it is quite scary because like we've I think what's this guy's name? It was Martin Goldberg. He actually made a video about credentialism and how in America, really across the West, really Western world for sure, that if you don't have the credentials, you really can't talk on anything. And to a large extent, this is somewhat true. But the problem is that effectively, like these people, like nobody has the time to study everything, which is exactly why we have things like professions and majors, and why you major in one specific topic, and why you don't major in just everything. And what ends up happening is that, okay, well, like it somewhat does require a certain level of like belief in somebody to actually like take their advice to some extent, like because you don't know if what they're saying is true or not. You can research a little bit, but maybe they have the special sauce of like maybe their little pet theory is the correct one, and they actually are correct, which is like why it's so dangerous nowadays. Like nowadays anybody can go online and claim anything, and any scientist has the ability to go online and claim anything, and with the credentials on their side, they can easily swing a conversation to another side. Like, truth be told, this is actually very, very prevalent in this idea about trust the science or trust the scientists is very much definitely very, very true in things in certain parts of academia, like in the study of like race and racial sciences, especially. Like I think if you go on Wikipedia, actually, like the article actually contradicts itself, because it says that stuff like phrenology is like, what phrenology is, right? The study of like human bones, or like looking at features of human beings to see how smart or dumb they are.
I didn't know.
Oh yeah, well,
but now I know.
Effectively though, this field of study was like discredited a long time ago as being like a pseudoscience of like, oh, you can't look at people's features and look at how they look and measure a nose or measure an eye or measure a skull to see how smart somebody is. But the funny part is now that within that same article, or within the article about racial sciences, what you're effectively finding out now is that, oh well, there definitely is a field of science that actually covers phrenology, and basically scientists are saying now that, oh well, we can actually look at human skulls and look at human bones and look at human features and say, oh yeah, we can draw some explanatory power from them. So it's like, okay, so like phrenology wasn't all wrong, apparently. It was just a little bit wasn't nearly as true as people said it was. And this is also this weird because race is such a huge sticking point in America, or in the West in general, and that everybody's sort of afraid to kind of talk about it, so they kind of talk around it. It's really weird. So like, instead of talking about races in like racial groups, we'll like say things like, well, race isn't really real. Race is a social construct, and there's no difference between racial groups. But if you actually read the article, what ends up happening is that, okay, well, when you actually read the article, they explain all the science, but the preface of the article basically says that like, oh well, there is no such thing as race, and race doesn't really exist. And it's like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it either does or it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like it's also the same in Germany, especially in Germany, because because of the World War II. But yeah, it's so stupid how like people. I guess this is also like the reason why people can't take the black pill, is because they have to face reality, and they don't. Reality doesn't always follow like your delusions, your like fantasy world, and for a lot of people, when they're being like 100% rational, they think that certain choices, become like very, very scary,
Well, I guess another issue,
because when you're trying, when you're trying to be 100% rational, you might like do something like maybe you'll be neglectful towards like elderly people, all like neglectful towards like weaker like parts of the social society, but they don't understand because they don't and because it's like at first glance it's frightening to be like 100% rational. They just throw the idea altogether away, and they just don't think further. Because and this is like I want okay I'll let you say that because like I was just going to say something else, but okay.
Oh yeah, what I was gonna say is that I just don't think that people like the implications that you can draw from certain, especially on racial sciences, but in science in general, the implications oftentimes, even though you can't really derive an ought from an is from an ought, rather, like, one of those two things. It's like when you actually look at some of these studies though, and you actually look at what they actually say, the only conclusion that you can come to is that, oh, some people are just fucked, like they're just quite literally fucked. And then our entire system of government and equality under the law and equality here and equality that, and people being equal and everybody's an equal citizen and people can do anything and self-determination. Well, all that stuff goes right out the fucking window when you realize that some people just don't have what it takes. And the problem is that another issue with that is that people don't like, if the moment you start revealing stuff to be true about either a group of people or a group of individuals or a group of anybody, no one likes to be on the left side of that curve. Like, okay, like, oh shit, I'm on, like, I might be on that side of the curve. Like, so like, it's almost better to just ignore it, because the moment you start talking about, okay, well, this ethnic group over here has a huge issue with this particular problem. Oh shit, like, the implication there that there are some implications that you can draw from that. It's not, and it might not necessarily be appropriate to, but there are some things you can draw from those particular isms. So like, once again, like, I'm just going to backtrack here to my first example of like, if we find out that there's a group of people who never achieve X, and I'm not even going to use the racial group, but there's a group of people who never achieve X, doesn't make sense for society to keep throwing money at that problem.
Yeah.
Like, there are implications that draw off of that. If a group of people will universally, on average, never achieve X, doesn't make sense to keep throwing money at the problem. But it's not necessarily all or nothing either. If the group exists, well, obviously it must also, depending on how fucked the group is, it might fall on a bell curve. So maybe it might be more appropriate to say, okay, well, let's do this on a case-by-case basis. If we know that we can test the entire population, we can take the ones that we can save and fuck the rest effectively. But once again, like, nobody wants to hear that though. Like, who wants to hear about like how, like, because like that's still going to have social ramifications and governmental ramifications attached to it. And once again, nobody likes the implications of like certain scientific truths, because like what it means is that not all people are equal, and that we have to make hard decisions about where we allocate scarce resources to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And this is like also like the implications of the black pill, because now you have to face reality. But this is like I would want to throw some symbolism in there, some astrological correspondences. Black is like the color of Saturn, and Saturn is also like the planet of responsibility, of death, of boundaries, of limits, of limitations. And so when you swallow this black pill, what you're like doing, like if you're like looking at astrology, is that you're facing the harsh reality, because Saturn rules over the physical realm, over time. You're now confronting Saturn, and you're confronting his responsibilities, his limitations, and the truth. Now, and a lot of people, like in astrology, they dislike Saturn because of these things. But Saturn is also like the planet that you want to work with if you want to get shit done. And this is like also like why I also like really like you could say the black pill, is because if you know the truth, if you confront reality, you can like change something. You're like taking like the responsibilities. You know how things work. You might not like how they work. You might not like how society is, but now you know how it works, and now you can do something about it, because now you might not get what you want, but you can try to get it, and it's anyway better than being delusional and just doing the same stupid shit and not realizing that it's working.
Yeah.
So now, because like if people would like accept that, maybe some minorities or some people, some ethnic groups might have some certain problems, be they genetically or historically.
Yeah.
They can now work with this. They can now look for, okay, now this is not going to work. Like this way, this, if we just keep on throwing money at them, that's not going to work. Like, what can we do to solve it? And you can only know the way to this, or the solution to this problem, if you're like blackpilled, or if you accept reality and rationality.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would even say like the whole implication thing is actually it actually runs. I mean, we have the prime example here of someone like Richard Cooper, what they call the guy, Richard Cooper. At the end of the day, like the entire like reality of his of the movement, especially a lot of these people who sell the dating coaches, the grifters, or what I want to call the guys, people that make money off of men and make money off of men suffering. Like the implication is that of the black pill is basically that, hey, there are some men, in fact, the majority of the men in your community you can't actually help, and that you taking their money is unethical because these, or maybe they don't know, like maybe these people legitimately believe that, hey, behaviorism is a real thing, and that people, if you just behave the way women want you to behave, if you behave like an alpha male, quote unquote, you actually make it. Maybe they actually do believe that. But the moment the black pill shows up and tells them no, a lot of these men you're coaching here are never going to make it, no matter how much work they put in, no matter how much effort they put in, because they just don't have the looks, they don't meet a look threshold, or they don't have enough wealth, or they don't have enough status, or something like that. And all those things require you to be in the top 20% to even work out to begin with, to some extent. It's not. No one says you can't gain more status, but the problem is, can you gain enough status to actually make it? That's what we're talking about here. So, like, if the implication,
I think you can. Like, I don't know, like in America, but in Germany and especially in Russia, you can, and especially in the past, because I know examples where, like, someone might not look really good, but they had this alpha male mentality that one might say like now, but what is actually basically, like, again, the Sag and black pill. You just confront reality, you confront situations, and you just get shit done.
We're just talking about like on the average though. Like the average guy like him probably didn't make it. Like the problem oftentimes what ends up happening is that we use these like I know a guy stories of like, oh, I know a guy who made it. Oh, okay, that's nice. I'm glad he made it. But like, what about the people who didn't make it? What about the thousands of people left in his wake who got left behind? Like,
yeah, but a lot. Sometimes when I like read also like the comments, maybe like in the chat of the stream, I get the feeling that sometimes people don't want even to try, because like.
Oh, I agree with that too. Yeah,
I'll try. I'll put myself in embarrassing situations, but I'll fucking try. And I guess if it's meant not to be, then nothing's going to change. Yeah.
Yeah, like what I oftentimes tell men, I've said this before a million times, is that I tell people to be, make an honest assessment of where you are in life and just be realistic about what you can actually achieve. Like, if you look at your bank account and it's negative $1,000, okay, you probably shouldn't be investing your money into like some fucking like to make a small business selling fucking ice cream cones in the middle of fucking Antarctica or some shit. Okay, it's not gonna work. So you should just be realistic with where you are, where you live at. Like, just make an honest assessment of who you are, how good looking you are, how bad looking you are, how much money you have, where your status is, and then you can make the effort to improve the things that you can improve. But there is going to be a maximum depending on the level of your genetic fitness to some extent. And for a lot of men, they're going to fall extremely short of the line of like of that line of women are going to notice you to some extent. And I think it's. Sometimes I will concede this, that looking at the exception can actually tell you a lot, because it can tell you, okay, well, if it worked for this guy, what did he do differently, and how much of that can we apply to the whole to make things move forward for some people? Not everybody's still not going to make it, but you can maybe help more people if you look at the exceptions and say, okay, well, what did he do differently than this guy over here? Why did he make it? And why didn't he make it? You can still use the exceptions to analyze the whole to some extent, but you have to be realistic with how you do it, though.
Yes, and what I wanted to say is like not to like that just be an alpha or something like, and everything's going to be fine. But what I wanted to say is that like coming back to the black pill, like taking the black pill means to find a way to deal with the problem, not to like say, oh, I'm just gonna give up. You still might, because like I guess there's always like a way to get what you want, or not what you want, but maybe even to change what you want, because I guess there's always like this. Even if you're not going to get what you want, like even like maybe your fucking basic needs, you still might find a way like to maybe change yourself in such a way that you're no longer like feel like you fucking want to rope. So I think that there's not only like, if you take the black pill, there's not only cope or rope, but there's also like the way to fucking do something about it.
Yeah,
maybe,
I mean, I'm
to change.
Yeah, go ahead.
And maybe to change like yourself to not feel fucking miserable, which may be cope, to be honest. Like this is cope, isn't it?
Well, it depends, because like once again, this is a matter of every individual man needs to take a look at themselves honestly and figure out what can you do realistically to improve your lot in life. And for some men, I think that for a small subset of men, it may even be larger than I think actually, lay down and rot might be their only solution. They might have actually done all the work they could have done, and they've realized that nothing's going to improve anyway. So I'm going to live a bare bones life. I'm going to contribute the least amount I can to the system. They might still work a job. They might still pay taxes. They might still deal with stuff like that. But they're going to do that stuff the least that they can. They're going to live a relatively lonely life and die, or they might self delete. But I don't advocate for self deletion to some extent, or to a large extent. So I don't want men to do that. But like if men just want to like lay down and rot, and they've done the work, and they've realized that they come to an assessment of like life, and they say, okay, I've done everything I think I can. I have no other avenues in which I can do anything else with. I'm fucked. So lay down and rot for me. For the men in the middle, though, that's where things get interesting at, because like, okay, a lot of those men are in the middle are like, okay, a 6 or a 7 or even a 5 are like, okay, well, I have things I can improve, so I'm doing the best I can. So some of those guys, like the 5 is probably less likely to make it than a 6 is, and a 6 is less likely to make it than a 7 is. But you're probably going to get enough of those. The hope be that you get enough of those men able to cross the finish line to where your whole system doesn't fucking collapse.
Yeah, you're right. I guess like for a 5, and I think also like for a 4, maybe not in America, in the Americas, but like for a 5, I think a 5 can finish in America. I think that maybe even most 5s could finish. Or would you say no? Because I obviously don't live in America, so I know jack. Oh, no, I mean,
it's getting harder, and it's getting harder and harder for the average man to do anything in America. Like if you definitely see this across the entire, like, I feel like the entire system is just simultaneously carving out the a middleman. Like a middleman's being slowly destroyed. You see it with the economy, where like the a middle class is slowly being eroded away. You're seeing it in the dating market, where like it's effectively turning into a market of like you're either Chad or you're an incel to some extent. So like you have this weird like it's like dichotomy forming, where like the middle is where all like the it's kind of like a sandwich in a way. Like you have like your pieces of bread on each end, which are like relatively unenthusiastic and kind of boring, really, because like it's really easy to argue in extremes. Oh yeah, the 5'4" balding Indian janitor. Okay, like that's a really extreme example, because like, okay, well, obviously he's not going to make it, and the 10 out of 10 6'4" Giga Chad who looks like Henry Cavill, he's obviously going to make it. Okay, like we all know he's going to make it, but like it's in the middle, where it's like a sandwich, where like all the meat's in the middle, and that's where all the action is. That's why you bought the sandwich to begin with. So like you're looking at the world of thing, you're saying, oh my god, like okay, like all of a sudden like the meat in your sandwich is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, well, like, and you realize that the bread on the side is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, wait a second, I'm not really getting it. I'm not really eating a sandwich. I'm eating bread now. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
kind of funny how like so everything's moving over to the sides now. You even see it in politics now too. Or if you look at the graphs where like effectively the the two parties, at least in my country, have split completely. Like there's nobody in the middle, and each side has become more and more. It's effectively the world becoming far more polarized, and it's like it's very scary because like it's not scary. I guess it is scary to some extent because like okay, like, that means that there is no a middle ground. There's no more a middle tier you can like kind of exist in and thrive in to some extent because it's being slowly carved away. Because so like effectively the battle lines are being drawn now to some extent.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess like I was always like wondering why. Initially, I thought that America only has like two parties, but you have more. It's just that these two are like the biggest, isn't it?
I mean, the other two parties are the other. Technically speaking, we have the Green Party, and then the Libertarian parties are kind of like the Green Party is kind of like the where all the far lefties go to like feel good, and the Libertarian Party is kind of where all the righties go to feel good. And at the end of the day, those parties never get any sort of like real
So
sort
they're
of like
only
outputs.
four like somewhat big parties,
I
or
mean,
like bigger
I
parties, four bigger
I
parties.
mean, there's really only two major parties and like maybe two minor parties that are worth even talking about.
This is like super fucking stupid.
Yeah, like nobody really talks about a libertarian candidate might show up on like Fox News like once throughout the entire campaign cycle, and he might show up in like the middle of the day where nobody can see him. And then the same thing for the a Green Party candidate. They might show up on like some like a middle of the day show or in the middle of like MSNBC's show, and no one gives a fuck about them. It's like okay, like they don't really exist. So it really is.
Okay,
It really
this
is
is
just
like, yeah.
Democrat and Republican at the end of the day.
This is like, yeah. This might not be like, this is not the like 100% like the same like what I'm like about to say, but you know, like games often they have like they give you like the option to choose something. You know, you can like do you can say this or that to an NPC, but especially in older games, you didn't had really a choice. You could say like, if you would say A, then the same thing would happen as if you would say B.
Oh
So
yeah,
there
yeah,
was
yeah.
no real choice. But I guess like there's still like big differences between these parties, but it's still something that I like came up in my mind with, because I guess like if you're like voting for the Libertarian Party, or if you're like voting for the Republicans, it won't like make much of a difference, like for you as an individual. Not like if like many people would like vote Libertarian and not Republican.
Well, the funny part even about like having a let's say a libertarian was somehow to win a ticket, like he was actually somehow able to become president, he would have zero power because like I'm assuming unless he has like a bunch of libertarians in the House and the Senate, he has no power anyway. So like he would just effectively be like more like a socially liberal Republican politician. That's
Like
how he would effectively
rebrand.
rule. Yeah, as a rebrand. He wouldn't really be like a he wouldn't be able to actually pass any real legislation at all. He had to work closely with the Republican Party to get anything done, and yeah, so he'd just be a Republican effectively, you know, in all but name. So yeah.
Okay, this yeah. Oh well. The American dream.
Yeah, the
I know,
American
like-
system really is like, you know, it's inefficient, and it's honestly designed to be inefficient to some extent. You know, the founders didn't want radical change to happen every fucking year. We have this back and forth shit. But ironically, though, we're kind of getting that in the form of these like executive orders where like one president will pass some sweeping executive order. And oftentimes these things, they get challenged by the courts, and the courts say either yes or no to them. So like, you know, slowly but surely we've been expanding executive power across the United States, because like really like Congress, either the biggest issue we have right now is Congress. Like we're like, you know, basically Joe Biden came into the office with like extremely, like anybody who thought that Joe Biden or the Democrats were like liberal or leftist won this election are like, they're lying to themselves. They have extremely slim majorities in the House. It's like four seats, and then they have like and the Senate is literally split 50-50. So they basically only have the Senate because of Kamala Harris being the president of the Senate. So like, at the end of the day, like the Democrats didn't really win, and the Republicans, technically speaking, I think they did win pretty big in 2016 because they had I actually do think they had a pretty big majority, not a big majority, but a decent majority to definitely pass stuff with, because you can basically like you use these rules called a reconciliation in order to get like, instead of having to have 60 votes, you need 51 votes to pass a bill. So it makes it a lot easier to get stuff done, assuming your entire party's on your side. So this is a whole fucking like, whole fucking fucked up system of like, we don't really like do anything in this country because like there's no real will to do anything, because like why would you? It's like, okay, like if like the politicians don't really get punished for not doing anything, because like, okay, well, like, because like a big issue of politics right now is that nobody really believes that they're making the wrong decision. So like it might actually be your guy that you put into the House or the Senate that's the issue, because he won't pass anything, or he votes for dumb shit. But nobody wants to believe that it's their politician who's doing anything wrong. They think it's like the next state over's guy. Okay, it's their fault if something's wrong. Nobody wants to believe that they made the wrong choice on who they put in office. It's always somebody else's fault. So
okay, that's like okay. This sounds like pretty scary.
Yeah, like these
like if you're like just focusing on the political like opposition, I guess, or like not opposition, but like like the polar opposite of themselves, but yet they don't have the control over them. Instead of like changing something substantial, sounds like they're not black-pilled.
And to some extent, they are doing the will of the people. If the people wanted sweeping a legislation passed, they would have voted in 60 Democrats and majority of in the House. And I guess they technically did get the majority of the House, but with the Senate, they would have gave them 60 Democrats. They don't have the will to do that. The people, if people want to change, they would vote for it to some extent. That's kind of like the basis of our system. But to some extent, though, it does kind of come down to like people don't even think there's anything wrong going on until something goes wrong. Like I said this in one video, but like, we don't fix problems until they actually become problems, like until they're at our front door. We don't care about them when it's like in the abstract of like this could happen. No, we care about it when it actually does happen. It's definitely the reason why I think stuff like climate change will never actually be solved, because like we don't care about it until it actually becomes real for us, not before that.
But I guess like in Germany, they do quite a bit about the climate change to regulate the CO2 output.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it doesn't matter if if a tiny country like Germany
if
regulates the CO2 output, but like giants like China and partially
India too, like people
India, yes, of course. If they like pump out CO2 out in mass, then it won't change much.
Yeah, and the sad part is, and the argument that gets made oftentimes about climate change is that America needs to be the one to do it, and it's America's fault, and America this, America that. But the reality is that and the argument that gets made for China and why China gets to pump out as much CO2 as they want is that this is just the a growing pains of an economy, and they should have the same right to pollute the earth that America had when we were going through our industrial revolution. So like, why can't China do the same thing? And it's like, well, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't get to I didn't hear the last part.
About what? China?
Just quickly repeat it.
Oh, basically the climate change, about especially in the second world and the third world, won't get solved, because like effectively we get like hit with this argument of like, oh well, America and basically the West got to pollute as much as they wanted during their industrial revolution.
Okay, yes.
And that places like China, who are currently going through theirs, or at least maybe ending theirs pretty soon, why can't they also pollute in the same way that we did? And it's like, oh, yeah.
It's a little bit of stupid if you go like, I'm like not a guy of like equality or even equity. I'm more like of a guy like we have a certain goal. Maybe we should like what is it called? We should agree on a goal, and we should just strive towards it. And I don't think that the goal for humanity should be equality or equity, because, but then if you say that to people, that especially people that are not black-pilled, they're they're going to think like, oh, so what if I'm like on the receiving end, or like
Yeah.
not then, and they won't agree with you, but they just don't understand, like how maybe many of the rich people, they don't understand that if we all go towards a technological progress, but not in a way that would harm like other people, where you would like enslave people, or like introduce serfdom back. Um, if you go this way, if you're being like humanitarian towards all people, or basically all people in your nation, while it's also like pushing for technological progress, then it will be a lot better in the long run for your like nation. You might like the rich people might pay more taxes or something, or like some other way that you can like regulate their wealth towards the benefit of the entire nation. But they might not be happy at first. But if the progress in science is going to lead to higher higher uh, life standard of lives, or what is it called, the standard of quality of life or something, or to a higher quality of life, then even the rich will profit from it, because there's like a max cap, you know at which you can like where you have like the best quality of life, and this max cap is defined by science and technology that you have. Like, if you didn't have the internet, then the quality of life would be obviously lower. So, and the internet was possible by technology. So this is like my point of view, but I'm not like I'm not studying like economy and
Well, yeah,
whatnot.
the biggest issue I always see with people who advocate for like some sort of like collectivization of anything really is that they always make the argument in like some like moral abstract or like some weird sense of like, oh well, it's good for all of us. Okay, well, like no, people don't operate off of that. People are
Yeah,
fairly
that's true.
people are selfish. So
Yeah.
you need to appeal. Keep in mind you are asking for their resources. Okay, it's still
Yeah.
their private property.
They
So
won't.
you need to actually advocate and say, hey, this will benefit you because yeah, you get to make the argument of why it benefits them themselves. People care about other people only to the extent that they have enough resources for themselves. Like at the end of the day, like if I can't eat, then I don't give a fuck if my neighbor can't eat either. Fuck them. Okay, like I want to eat today, especially if I'm fucking starving.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like you have to make the argument if you any sort of societal change you want to make, especially when it requires the tax income or the resources of somebody else to do it, you have to make the argument of how it benefits the individual person that you're talking to. You can't just say like stuff in the abstract of like it'll be good for society, because society is just a nebulous blob of people. Okay, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. No, it doesn't mean any shit to anybody else. I'm not saying you shouldn't do something to benefit society, but you need to make the argument to why, like, to individual people about how this will benefit themselves.
Yes. And I also, you can also see like that certain rich people, Bezos, are like investing in certain technologies. But then again, I don't think that Bezos knows what is best for, or what is the most, or what's like the technology or like the science that you should push for. I don't think that it's space travel. I really don't think that it's space travel, because like, for example, the oceans, there's so much like undiscovered things in the ocean, and now you would say like, why the fuck would we like look for stuff in the ocean? But then again, a big problem in like pharmacy is that we didn't had a lot of new antibiotics in the last, what is it? I don't want to say something bad, something wrong, sorry, something false. I guess something like in the last 20 years, we didn't have like much new groups of not much new groups of antibiotics were discovered. And now pharmacy or medicine has like this problem that we are getting more and more was heißt Erreger, more and more like bacteria and like other microorganisms that are resistant towards the old antibiotics. For example, MRSA. You know, this is like this Staphylococcus aureus, which is like present at at a lot of hospitals, and it's, as the name says, it's multi-resistant, and it's tough to treat it, or tougher. And you know, this is the problem. And if you look in the sea, in the ocean, for like new animals, then we can like analyze their secondary metabolites. You know, like an animal, every living creature has like primary metabolites. These are like you know, your glucose and you know basic like fat and basic tissue, like things that you need to survive. But you also have like secondary metabolites, which are substances that ensure not the individual survival, but the survival of the species. So they give some kind of like special perk to a plant or to an animal. And these secondary metabolites are, for example, the etheric oils. You know, or like, for example, if we go to antibiotics, then, you know, like the famous example of Alexander Fleming discovering penicillin in this fungus. Yeah. And the same thing we can do with sea creatures. But, you know, this is like, but people rather would like pump their money into like space travel and shit, which is like, it's so far off, yeah, till we get like something useful out of it.
I mean, there's no reason why you can't just do both though. Like,
yeah, but you can do both. But I personally think that you should like focus on Earth. Like you should focus on Earth and instead of like pumping like valuable resources that maybe never going back to planet Earth into outer space. So I think we should like concentrate on Earth, you know, and when we're like done with Earth, when we're like done with the oceans, the jungles, and stuff like this, then we can like concentrate on space.
It's not even a matter of like, you know, like this is probably the beauty of having, like, as much as I hate to say this, like this is sort of like the beauty of having you know, individuals that have a lot of wealth, because they're able to take that wealth and do stuff with it on an individual basis in order to get stuff done. So effectively, what ends up happening is that Elon Musk and I guess, you know, even Jeff Bezos are focusing on space. Whatever you think about Bill Clinton, well, he ends up focusing on places like Africa and providing them with resources and contraceptives and various things like that. And then so like you have all these like people who are rich and have all this wealth, that accumulated wealth, that they're able to like take the resources and advocate for different things. The biggest issue with government is that because government effectively only has one head. Yeah, sure, you have your secretaries, but there still should only be one mission at the end of the day. And it ends up happening is that like they can't as efficiently and as effectively do all these tasks at the same time. This is why we outsource so much of what we do.
Yeah, but I guess like.
Did I say Bill Clinton or did I say Bill Gates? I'm sorry, I said Bill Clinton. Bill Gates. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bill Gates did
like
that. Yeah, I think I said Bill Clinton. Bill Gates. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bill Gates. Okay.
I got to leave pretty soon. I'll let him in real quick. What's up, John Connor?
Oh, that's why I wanted to say one thing, because you're talking about the antibiotics. I just want to say one thing before everyone dips out.
Yeah, sure.
All right, that's why I was against the mass vaccination. Okay, so let me put this out there. We probably could discuss it more tomorrow. Because of it increases the rate of the mutation, and then it just eventually everyone has to get on. So hear me out. Okay, what have we been talking about that they want for the global economy? Or let's say what's the main push? There's like two main pushes right now. Okay, like what's the two main economic pushes right now? You have people want either flat Earth, and I don't mean in the geometric sense. I mean like economic sense. And the others who want the isolation, like multiple large superpowers fighting, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's fringe groups who want old school, but let's say that's not happening, so let's not even discuss it. You know what I mean? So let's say the two pushes, like isolation of superpower type thing, like more traditional power, or like the flat Earth, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens in a factory farm? What do the animals have to keep taking?
Oh,
Antibiotics.
yeah.
Yeah,
Various
and all that
drugs,
shit,
yeah.
right? Because they're on top of each other all the time, right?
Yeah.
They start spreading quicker diseases. You have to do it because otherwise the crop would, well, I'm calling them crop, but just, I don't give a shit. Just hear me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're crop animals, right? I'm not trying to hurt feelings here. And then they have to keep giving them those things because it mutates quicker and they get sicker, and then it creates it to some point where they can't not have it because the crop would just go out. That happens to plants too, you know what I mean? But like, let's say we're just animals, whatever, right? They just take different types of medicines or whatever, or genetic engineering to prevent them from getting infected. Okay, so if you need a flat Earth, right? If you're a flat Earth advocate, like the Soroses and the Gates and stuff like that, well, you're gonna have people commingling all the time. So what's gonna always spread?
Yeah.
Diseases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to vaccinate them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why when I say cut the bullshit, maybe we'll even have to do that, but just cut the shit.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. That's
yeah.
why when everyone's looking at this other shit, that's why I keep saying, like, I'm not even against it. Maybe we'll have to eventually, because eventually there'll be like an Andromeda strain. I just get rid of the whole ethical thing. No one fucking cares. No, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I get annoyed hearing that. It just becomes like this whole thing. It's not a humanitarian effort. It might become unnecessary because all it's going to take is one, like Typhoid Mary or something. That's really the problem. It's nothing else. You see?
Yeah. I get what you mean. Like, because
well, this was a dry run for those things. You don't even know anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, you might have to. That's why you start saying, well, maybe you have to isolate. But they keep talking about it in this like kumbaya way, and none of it really means anything. You see? That's all I'm trying to say. Just try to keep your like minds in that. Like, even if you're in favor, let's say, I like a flat Earth. And if we want a flat Earth, we need to take vaccines. Fine. But I would rather talk to someone like that than hearing all this other crap.
Yeah, this more.
It's all crap. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
At least like I could talk with them about it. Maybe they have a good point. Maybe they go, hey, if we don't do this, we'll starve. I go, oh, I never thought of that. But this other shit is just all bullshit. You know?
Yeah.
It's all bullshit. And don't tell me like it's not going to make it that people need it more, because it happens in everything else. It happened in the antibiotics or stuff. Even if it's necessary now, maybe it's necessary. Maybe the way people have been intermingling, there's like a genetic recessive trait that we're not as like resistant. Whatever it is, the rest of it is not actually thinking. It's low IQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because like
that's
people,
all, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to like keep like what it actually could be.
Yeah, I get it. People a lot of the times they like argue with like, oh, I have older parents or like some stuff, but you're like,
whatever.
Like you're talking on a global scale,
exactly. So
and
back
on a
the
more
whole
realistic scale. Yeah,
right. It's exactly. They're making a global decision that I'm even saying maybe will become necessary, but that's how the decision is made. They're not making it because you're fucking old parents. They don't give a fuck about your parents.
That's true. They rather even have that the old people like die faster, because then you don't have to like pay them.
Or maybe they like them to be in nursing homes and they can milk their insurance for 90 years. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
You know how expensive those things are?
No, but I'm talking
right, whatever.
Like
I'm not saying that's necessarily happy. I'm just,
Yeah, I'm just saying from the perspective of the government. The government like has to pay elderly people their, what is it called in English? Their pension, their rent. What is it?
Well, I know they pay out their
they have
Social
all types
Security
of social
check, and then they pay out
services.
their
It all falls under social
Medicare.
services, whatever.
Yeah, Medicare.
Yeah. And if you have less older people, then you don't have this issue.
The burden anymore. Yeah.
Well, or you can even look at it like, okay, you tested on them because they have 7 years to live on average, so you don't want to test it as much on the youth. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? The whole point of saying is all that other stuff is crap.
Testing
on
older people.
If you want to get something done,
is like testing on older people is not a good idea, because older people take multiple medications, so you have a lot of interactions.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is going on. Yes, but you got to remember, this was approved for emergency use. They wanted to see if it kills on administration. Anyway, the point is, they don't know what we'll do 10 years from now. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point is, if you want to do something, you have to negotiate something for someone else too. That's why that whole kumbaya, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
They don't care, and in fact, they make up half of that stuff.
Yes, that's true.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. It's
They
just
make up
not.
half of it. They may get at both ends of it. You know? It's not happening. I'm not saying to be intentionally mean either. Just they don't care about you no more than someone on the other side of the world gives a fuck about you.
Yeah.
They don't care about you either. So it doesn't mean intentionally be mean, but just to get that whole thing, it's just like, it's so bullshit.
Yeah. People are just, and like.
Anyway, you know, that's how I see the black pill. It's the whole thing. It's like pulling the whole rug off your face.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Whole
And that's
thing.
like what's like what was the problem with these, like, with my co-students? They were just like have had this bullshit of like, oh, we're like experts, we like mean something.
Yeah, they're,
like,
they're second year
no.
pharmacy students. Second year pharmacy students, like but they fucking know. Who cares?
Yeah, they know shit. You know, like I was like, holy fuck. And there was like this one chick that was like typing like in response to that woman posting this very polarizing topic, or this very polarizing video. She was like saying like, oh, and we are supposed to be the future of Germany, and I'm like, fuck, this chick was not even, this chick wasn't even a German citizen. And I was like,
boy.
You're not the future. You're definitely not the future of Germany yet.
Well, she might be the future of Germany, dog. I don't know, man. Look at like the way that place is going with
Who knows?
Merkel just letting them all in the door, dog. Like you know, like hell.
Right? Yeah. You don't even know what it is.
Yeah, you're right. But I was like, but the point is that they were so like, I guess entitled. You know, they were thinking like they're like this important or something, where they're like, no, you're like fucking human resource. You're like what is it called? Like animals on this farm. Just resources to be used. You're not important.
Yeah.
Like,
they're pipette apes. They're pipette apes. That's what they end up doing. They pipette. They're pipette apes. They sit there pipetting into vials, yelling on Reddit. Good for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, you dipping, mystery?
Yeah, I gotta leave pretty soon. So yeah, let's do
me probably too.
All right.
Let's get some last words.
Let the man go. Jesus.
All right,
Connor,
John Connor, Coper, you got the last word for the chat. You out of here.
Peace.
All right, dude. All right, see you next time. All right, Garen, any last words?
Yeah, don't be polarized. Take the black pill. Deal with reality. Try to do your best, whatever it may be.
All right, my buddy boy. I'll see you next time. All right, here we are. Oh my God, we are fucking here. Last person standing. I gotta leave in not leave really. I gotta get ready and then leave in a few minutes. So leave about 5. So I got plenty of time to kind of sit here and chat a little bit. So where's Drolix when I need him? Yeah, what the fuck is Drolix? I don't know. Wait, I don't want to read this, but there's a whole lot more going on here. But let's read this one here. First, start by educating people why privatized property creates inequality, then form parties that start a move to nationalizing common goods and services. That's an idea. Okay. Shortages, shitty public transportation, and lack of motivation. JK, but that's not swaying me. Sounds like it's best been tried, but already low. I better need ideas. Oh, I need better ideas than that. Okay. The problem is that you can't nationalize sexual selection. Maybe you can. That's what I see being the biggest hindrance to achieving communism. That's why I advocate black pill Marxism. And Silicon Bar. John Connor, Richard Cooper. Yeah, he said he wanted to distance himself from the whole red pill sphere, so he changed his name. So yeah, Mystery, you are a magnet to German dudes. I know I have so many fucking Germans in my fucking chat now. It's so fucking weird. Oh God. All right, guys, I will do this again tomorrow. Probably around 3 or 4, depending on what time when I wake up and go to the gym in the morning, stuff like that. So yeah, so I'll hit you guys up tomorrow. It's been fun. All right, my dudes. I will see you guys tomorrow, and you guys have a good one. Let's get the fuck out of here.